getting his brother back into
We're
selling
back on.
methamphetamines. So we abandoned ship, basically. Me and my mother and my brother, we shipped off to Washington because Child Services, we found out, was called on us, and we were getting out of there before we got taken away from my mother. And sometime after getting back to Washington, I started reading the Bible and read it completely for myself. And at that point, I had decided that whatever is out there, it is not what's in the Bible there. So I was no longer a Christian at that point, but I was not quite an atheist. And I still wanted the Christian God to be true. I just wanted it to be something better than what was represented in the Bible. So I spent the better part of the next 2.5 years basically depressed, crying on my knees, asking God to reveal himself, asking for some inkling, some bolster to my faith in any way. Never got a reply of any kind, so I started searching other things. I went to Jewish services, I went through Muslim services, I went to Wiccan meetings, Buddhist services, Hindu services, anything and everything I can find, which in Washington was a bit easier than elsewhere. And about the time I was 15 or 16 down in Florida, I finally said, I guess I'm an atheist straight up, and that's what I've been. I've not stopped searching, mind you, but I have identified as an atheist since then, and that was about 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, atheist people are more understanding of other religions because of what you said. I think if you studied other religions, most of us, I think, have, because of the curiosity sake of it, you know. And I think a good Christian would, a good atheist would make a good religious anything, you know, because they understand other religion. I think that's what's missing in a lot of religions, which it is in the Bible, like what you said. I've had the Bible read to me, and I've read the Bible. I probably haven't read the whole thing, but I've read.
Okay, I'm sorry, Nadia. I hate to do this, but the smoke detector's driving me bonkers.
I was actually fine until Faith brought it up. Now I can't hear anything but it.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Thank you.
So, I don't think it's as it's as simple as, you know, deciding to become an atheist. I'm not sure anyone.
It really is.
Many people decide to be an atheist, right? They realize that the beliefs that they've had before, or maybe never have, aren't justifiable, so they don't believe, and then they later come to the realization, or sometimes it's at the same time, depending on how they, you know, deconverted. They realize that there's a term for people that don't believe in God, and that's atheist.
Right, that's the way it was for me. I never deconverted. I just never believed, but never even knew a term for it. I was just like the guy who didn't believe what you do.
Your beliefs can change based on evidence, but you cannot choose what you believe. It's literally an impossible feat. It's like choosing to like a certain flavor, whether or not you actually like it. It's not going to happen.
Although that's a hard belief to, although the belief that you can't choose to your beliefs is a hard belief to sell.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can try and force yourself to believe something, but that's still kind of,
but then that's just lying.
Epicurus, you would agree that it's not a mere choice, right?
Okay, it's not a mere choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But atheists are just a grouping of...
A lot of people tell me...
Sorry, atheists are just a groupings of people from other religions that have somehow gone from that religion, or were brought up as atheists through their parents, but that would have only been for about 2 or 3 generations. Before that, you were sort of born into a religion, right? So there's a massive grouping of
not necessarily.
No, that's David Hume's kids.
Well, here's the thing. What you just said is atheists are people that either come from religion or don't, which means they're everyone. But anyway, not necessarily. An atheist.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
But anyway. On a serious note, though, atheists are... Yeah, there's nothing that really identifies multiple atheists as the same group besides the lack of a belief in God. Because just because someone's atheist, you can't infer anything off it. You can't be like, oh, this guy's atheist, he must hate guns. That's not how it works. So.
From atheist is like, it's just not having a belief, not believing in a God. So besides that, it can be very, very broad, the different types of atheists you can have. So you can have the knowledgeable atheists that have done a lot of research and a lot of thought into religion, and like the ones that I know in this area, which is similar to Australia. It's up in Canada. It's very similar to Australia. So you have a lot of people that are raised secularly and have never looked into religion and don't know much about religion or don't know much of anything about anything religious-wise. They just don't really believe or pay any attention to the religious stuff at all, and they're kind of irreligious apatheists for the most part, and they don't really necessarily know much of anything. But technically speaking, they're atheists, even if they don't identify as such.
The basic way I distinguish between the two is there are implicit atheists and there are active atheists.
Right. That works.
I don't know. I never bought into any of it. It never made any sense to me. My parents tried to raise me religious. Didn't work.
I remember hearing...
Nodvik.
Katie, you might want to mute your mic.
Mute sign self, Nodvik.
Sorry about that.
You start wrestling in there.
Sorry, I remember one of you mentioning that you never really played, but you'd never heard the term.
Yeah, that was my case.
That, for whatever reason, I knew the term well before I was 10 years old. So.
No, I learned the term... Well, I sort of knew the term it existed, but the thing is, French tries to be a prescriptive language instead of... So basically, there's a thing called l'Académie Française, or the French Academy, and they try to dictate what the words mean. Even though, technically speaking, its usage dictates what the words mean. But anyway, so the Académie Française, the French Academy, decided that atheist would only apply to those who categorically deny the existence of a god. So it took me a really long time to find out that no, that atheism is more than just categorically denying the existence of a god. Just not believing is plenty enough, you know.
Try telling that to Mycroft Holmes. Mycroft seems to believe that because the United States government in some way supports the Spelling Bee Academy or whatever organization produces the National Spelling Bee, and because they have an official dictionary, that dictionary is the official dictionary of American English, and if you use words that doesn't apply to that, then you're using words incorrectly.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, that's someone who thinks it's prescriptive. But the way language works, it's descriptive. But yeah, with the French Academy, it was installed by, I don't remember which king, Louis, one of the Louis. And yeah, they installed that, and the leaders of the French Academy are called the Immortals, so you can tell they don't have an ego.
Wait, quick question. Does what the French Academy does in France actually apply to Quebecers here in Canada?
It's supposed to. Yes, it's supposed to apply for all French, but that's not the real that's like an obsolete view of viewing language or understanding how language works. But yeah, they try to.
The sovereign nation of Quebec are a different breed, man.
Exactly. I mean.
But yeah, we do speak French differently than they do in France. The same way. Americans and Australians and New Zealanders all speak different English than Brits do. You know.
Oh man.
Yeah. We in America, we speak American. We don't speak English.
American. Man, I got an awesome story about the difference. I was once in Lebanon and I met a French family there from France, and when I told them I lived in Quebec and I stayed with the Quebecers, they were like, "How could you? Their language is so disgusting." And they can't even speak French. My response to them was to say, yeah, do you know one phrase they can't say in French? We'd like to surrender to Hitler.
I have a serious problem with that, because if you know anything about French history, which I'm American, so I don't, but if you know anything about French history, for a good 300 years into after France was sovereign, 28% was the estimated amount of people who spoke French in France. And even today, I think it's something like 30% of the French citizens don't speak French.
I wouldn't know the recent numbers.
There's a problem with that.
Oh, Louis, no frog legs in French. So, what was the question? Are you some kind of Catholic Inquisitor, Ralph? Is that what's going on? Trying to get all of our questions?
I'm not a Catholic Inquisitor, man. I'm just, I don't know, just...
I'm a witch, and I'll turn you into a newt.
I'm not religious at all, mate. I've just been brought up in it.
It's a fake accent. He's from the NSA.
Every time you go to a wedding, it's in the church. Every time you go to a funeral, it's in the Catholic section. Every time there's a christening, someone you have to go. You have to buy the cross. You have to dress up. You have to do all the crap. So, mate, I'm stuck in it. How can you get out of it? Am I religious? Yeah, I guess so. Because I attend all the crap, don't I? But do I believe in it? No, man. I've read enough to know otherwise. Like, we're not 5,000 years old, are we? We're not.
Didn't Frank say atheists can get into heaven too? So.
Yeah. But weddings and funerals and baptisms, they're just rituals. Like they're especially the.
Yeah, but they're all in Catholic places.
I know, there's a priest present and stuff, but no one really believes. They're just going there because it's an occasion to get there together and celebrate someone's life or celebrate a new couple being united, or So it doesn't necessarily come with mandatory religious belief participating in a ritual.
When you go to someone's house and they got the crosses up and all the pictures of the families got all the religious stuff around them, and they really have to believe it. Like they have to. Like there's no other option. Like, I'm sure they thought about it. We all thought about it. Blah blah. But there's people that have been brought up. The old people, man. Their generations are changing, but.
Yeah, but for example, when I went to Norway, and Norway is sorry, I want to interrupt.
People believe in religion as a religion. It just is. They don't question it. They've been brought up and they die in it, and just is. Whether they question it in their head or not, I'm sure everyone has. Like everyone's lost someone, everyone's done this, and everyone's seen a tragedy. Everyone's prayed for bread and water at some point in their life, and they don't get it, but they still believe in them, man. They still pray and light the candle for the dead and all that crap. They have to, because they just is to them. I mean, to you guys, maybe it's not. To me, it's not. But when someone dies, I have to do that. I have to. You just have to, mate. Because they look at you and you're just in it. You're not, you're stuck, mate. Religion, it's a people, It depends on where you come from. To how you see religion, to other people, it's a different thing. To a lot of religious people, like you said, they question it, blah blah. Of course they have, and they're still in there like me, and they believe in that. So what? There's nothing wrong with believing in something. But you don't believe in it, but that's your belief, and you believe in it too, don't you?
What's wrong with that?
Nah, not nothing like that. I don't.
What's wrong with that is there are missionaries that go to Africa and preach and try to get Africa to enact anti-gay laws to the extremity.
That's not even what.
But that's just business people, religion as a people, to group them together, to talk, to preach, to propaganda shit at them. It's just.
Yeah, when they preach that condoms cause AIDS, and when they enact anti-witch rituals which kill little children, they've gone too far.
That, man.
What also is wrong with that is this idea that somehow the faith is beyond criticism. You have things like the Catholic Church, taking priests who are known pedophiles and have molested children and protecting them.
But that's not the church's fault. That's a person going into it knowing he's a pedophile already, going, oh, this is an easy target. I can go to prison with his own.
That is the church's fault.
It's not all religion. Like you're a Catholic, you have to be a pedophile, or you can't join a club.
I'm not saying
the priest being is not
guys.
The priest being a pedophile is not the church's fault. When the priest acts upon his urges and the church moves him and hides him, that is the church's fault.
Yes, and it happens in other religions too.
Actually,
yes, it does.
Epicurus wants to say something.
Oh,
everywhere. It's just Catholic Church an easy target. Always has been, always will be, mate. Like, you just look for histories. I mean, you get burnt, you get staked, you get stoned. It's always the Catholics, mate. You know, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, the Muslims had their own crusades that were pretty gruesome too.
Yeah, they do. But just have a look at the history, like.
Now, I'm not of the bent that thinks that
imagine the world
are caused by.
Imagine the world if everyone's an atheist.
Hey, Ralph.
You have in the 80s,
Ralph.
man, around the world, it'd be
Ralph.
Okay, do I have to actually start paying attention now?
Please. Can you state the general politeness rule, please, about when people talk?
Hang on.
Basically,
there
Ralph,
we go. That should resolve it nicely. Oh, look, there's an opening. How'd that happen?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't want to kick him. I was just going to simply say
I was getting bored. I was sitting here on the main feed moving my little squirrel puppets around. Now I'm talking about my little cutouts. He bored me. I'm sorry, but yeah, that and him talking over people and not listening. Fuck this shit.
Well, that's what I was just going to try to simply explain, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I got bored. I don't know him. He's not like you. I won't tolerate him.
I was willing to give him a lot of leeway because connecting from Australia, he's probably a couple seconds behind everyone else, like upwards of 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was more like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that really true? I mean, we talked to a lot of Irish and stuff in these hangouts, and are they under a significant delay?
Actually, Australia just sucks. The main router that goes in and out of Australia just blows chunks, quite frankly.
I see.
See, guys, that's what happens when you get an atheist prime minister. Just kidding.
Yeah, they are still on an older wiring than most of our other international connections.
Epicurus, we don't have an atheist prime minister at the moment. He's actually Roman Catholic. And he's very Roman Catholic.
It started off with an atheist prime minister, so that's where I'll put
it was.
I'm just kidding, of course.
I don't know. Is there that much of a lag? I'm in Australia. It is a crap coming in.
Could be.
Hello, David.
How's it going, Dave?
Hello. I'm good. How's it going with you?
Not bad. Hey, it's an Australian who doesn't interrupt people.
I don't know. I was
lovely.
So,
well, I'm going to see if I can send what's-his-face a link.
I'd like to finish my point. I'll be brief. I was just saying that I'm not of the bent that thinks that all the world's problems are caused by religion, but if you're going to ask what is the harm in belief, there certainly are some harms.
Oh, you can stop being so kind.
And it's weird that I'm so kind, because I'm in my 5th Newcastle. I should be a believer now.
Feeling the love right now.
I think it's dangerous in a way how Christianity keeps on getting off scot-free for what it's done and what it does do. Like there's this whole big furore about Hitler. You know that everyone's throwing around the Scotsman, blah blah blah. If it wasn't for Christianity in that country and for hundreds of years of anti-Semitism, that wouldn't have happened. It's as simple as that. It would not have happened, the Holocaust and whatnot. And I think Christianity we have a tendency to whitewash history, so please.
I think it's a bridge too far to say that it certainly wouldn't have happened, but that certainly was one of the factors that led to the Holocaust.
Oh, I'd say it's a major factor, and I don't know if it is a bridge too far to say it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for hundreds of years of anti-Semitism.
But without Christianity, it may have been the victims of a Holocaust might have been another community than the Jews. It could have been the Gypsies, who are on the receiving end so often. So it might not be the Jews. But
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
There were lots of groups targeted in Germany.
Oh.
Whoa.
Was that?
Oh man, my ears.
Yeah. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. My sound issues are okay.
In the words of Todd Flanders, "Ow, my freaking ears!"
Nice.
And to counter you, Dave, you're making all these claims. No, it was magic. Okay, Hitler orchestrated that all by himself. He was there, gassing all those millions of people. All by himself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand it was political. I understand he was a monster, but he didn't exist in a vacuum. It was years of, centuries of anti-Semitism. Martin Luther. I mean, he took so much from what that guy had to say, and I think we have a tendency to gloss it over, and then these atrocities occur again and again and again, and people who are saying they're Christian or belonging to a church, like you look at Russia, what's going on with the anti-gay legislation, and you think of how the Orthodox Church is right in on that. You look at Uganda.
To go into more recent history, because I'm not sure that how involved Christianity is truly in the Holocaust, but the Rwanda genocide, before it began, priests were preaching at the pulpit to kill the Tutsis. And so, I mean, there was really preaching at the pulpit to really galvanize the parishioners into beginning this not Holocaust, but this genocide in Rwanda. And there you have a really hands-on religious folks who are really a main component into stirring the pot of genocide in Rwanda. That's a lot more hands-on, I think, than the Holocaust.
Wait, with regards to those the priests in Rwanda who were spreading the killing of the Tutsis from the pulpit, were they themselves white Catholic priests, or were they more along the lines of priests who come from the other tribe who will go to seminary, become priests, come back and still carry their prejudices with them and use the pulpit to carry that out?
From what I understand, they were Catholic priests, but not necessarily white. Yeah, the only footage I've seen of an actual priest doing it, he was African as well. So yeah, he might really have been someone from the other tribe, basically, and using his authority as a religious figure. That's possible.
After a quick Google search, the one priest I found his name is Athanas Serboa.
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
Something backwards?
Huh?
Nothing. I was making fun of his name. I said, "Did you say something backwards?"
No.
Well, anyway, now on the topic of Hitler, while it is a known situation that he was a practicing Catholic, and you can quote him directly saying, "Everything I do as God's work."
He wasn't a practicing Catholic.
Really...
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Hold on, let him finish, and then we'll...
Sure.
Yeah. Regardless of however much religion can be stacked onto his person, he wasn't the one doing the gassing. He wasn't the one doing the killing. He was the one giving the orders. The people in his army were the ones doing the killing, and predominantly the German army at the time was very religious in nature. So.
Yeah, I would say that it's certainly questionable what Hitler actually believed. He seemed, in private and in public, to speak out of both sides of his mouth on the topic of, well, actually not in public. In public, he seemed to always justify this by what God wants and assumedly be some sort of theist. But in private, he spoke out of both sides of his mouth.
Also, the religion he kind of propagated was this weird syncretic mix of Christian elements with Norse pagan elements and other religion, and basically he took that and it had this huge emphasis on a national fatherland or motherland or what have you. He wasn't a practicing Catholic. He had his own weird kind of religious mix. If you want to umbrella that under the general Christian, I consider myself a follower of Jesus kind of thing, then I can understand that. But to say he was a practicing Catholic with specific sets of beliefs when he denied, for example, the inspiration of the Old Testament, I think, which would be heretical, I would be very hard pressed to say he was a practicing Catholic.
It seemed to me he used his, you know, however he acquired his understanding and knowledge of authority to manipulate, and he said what he needed to say to get what he wanted done.
Absolutely, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Hitler was Catholic or not, but he tapped into that anti-Semitism that was in that country for hundreds of years, that was instilled by the Catholic and Protestant churches.
Yes. And
they were taught for centuries that Jews were inferior to Aryans.
Yes. And he also tapped...
So that's how it could occur. It became a fertile ground, didn't it, for that?
Yeah, but he also tapped... Yeah, and he also tapped into... no. I wouldn't say neo-Darwinians, because he also tapped into the thoughts of eugenics at the time, which had their support in evolutionary findings as well, to say that one race could be better than another, and other quote-unquote sciences as well. But
I think Martin Luther and his on the Jews and their lies had much more influence on the Germanic people than...
I want to add that this idea of culling humanity, you know, that eugenics, existed, it predates Darwin.
I know it did. I did. I said that's why I said I was hesitant in calling it that.
Yeah, it predates it by a long shot. Now, as for,
I just find... Sorry.
As for Nazi Germany, there was also an odd belief that Hitler had that the Aryan race were created by God and the Jews evolved. So there's some weird stuff there, but this goes all the way back to the Spartans. Yeah. And possibly further.
I just find it dangerous in a way that we don't use what happened then as a teaching tool for what organised religion can do. I think it's been whitewashed, and it's that people are trying to blame it for things that really had nothing to do. Christianity had much more to do with what went on there than any other factor. Besides the depression and they were main things. But I think that's the danger of letting it go and saying, no, it doesn't matter, you know. He may have been atheist, he may have been this or that. He tapped into that Christian anti-Semitism.
There are some things we do know about him, and one thing we do know is that he was a vegetarian. And I think, as such, we should blame all vegetarians for Nazism.
No, come on, that's a horrible way to violate. I got a better one. He had a mustache.
Oh.
Stalin had a mustache and no beard.
Right.
It's
very important. He had a mustache.
Okay, I've got to be
yeah, I would agree with that.
Which is something that I actually, Mycroft, you know, at one point was arguing about, you know, these handful of 20th century, you know, atheistic rulers caused so much trouble, therefore atheism leads to atrocities, and I asked him to please present some kind of causation for this correlation, right? You have extremely weak correlation of atheist leaders causing trouble in the 20th century. What you don't have is any kind of causation.
I just think I have a simple mantra. People of various beliefs and backgrounds are all pricks.
Some of them.
Similarly, I'm going to say it, in my opinion, unless someone, you know, provides me with some reading that I should be doing, I don't see enough direct causation from Christianity, like to say that Christianity led to the Holocaust. I understand that it's a factor.
Absolutely. Just like many other things, right?
Like so many other factors. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say a great reason to confirm that it would be, or anything like that, but just about authority. My angle from earlier was, which everybody knows. I hope you all have had the chance to actually read the book of Stanley Milgram's experiments, because everybody kind of knows the default experiment about the shock experiment. But when you read the book, you actually go through the like 40. Well, it was more like 20 some odd variations of the experiment. So you can see how it breaks down each component of the psychology. I could not recommend a better book.
Oh, you're full house again.
Welcome, Zach. Are you an atheist?
I thought someone was going to sing a theme there.
I was going to sing the Full House theme, but but yeah, I decided not to.
Very wise.
Hello, Zach. You joined in. Say hello.
Does anyone know the words to the Saved by the Bell theme song?
When I wake up
Oh,
in the
shush. We're random. We're not that random. This Insomnia Shuffle not random. If it was random, then I'd have like Q&A open and be asking people to ask stupid questions. Oh, hey, Benaberry, how you doing in there? I see he's exploding the comment section. I do have to ask him, just to be somewhat trollish, if he prefers this mode of commenting. That way he can just totally shotgun the comment section.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Zach. Hello, Zach.
I keep saying that you hear me.
Okay, let me give him some more volume here if I can.
You hear me?
No,
There we go. Something.
Oh, I can hear.
Hello.
I
There
can
we
hear
go.
something. There we go.
What was that?
Had to
Zach
crank up the
attack.
volume.
We can hear you now, Zach. Speak up. We could hear you.
Yeah, we could hear you a moment ago.
His volume's been cranked on my end.
Well, anyway, I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah.
Zach, what caused the Holocaust? Vegetarianism?
Just jump right in. Yeah, vegetarianism or a mustache without a beard.
mustache without a beard.
Or handball.
Handball.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hello, Zach.
We can hear you.
Got me?
Yeah.
We got you.
Yes, we got you. Speak up.
All right, so what's up?
What's up?
We asked you a question, Zach.
Ask it more neutral instead of
Yes,
in the
please.
affirmative of one side or the other.
So, Goebbels.
Well, I think there is a-
Yeah. Pick one, A or B. Literally.
A or not.
Atheist or believer. Pick one.
Yeah, yes, have you been saved by his noodly appendage? I'm speaking, of course, of the flying spaghetti monster.
I think his mic cuts
In and out or
off
something.
sometimes. Yeah, because
I'm waiting to. So there's a lot of tentacle porn in Japan. I'm waiting to see a flying spaghetti monster tentacle porn.
I think he might be in
We
the
barely
hangout
got you
and
again,
listening
though.
to the stream. I'm not sure.
So, I was hanging out. Yeah, I got a question.
go ahead.
Go for it, Zach. And by the way, just real quick, if you got the stream going, make sure you mute that. You're only listening to us here in the live talk.
And also, you're kind of low, even though 13 is pumped up the volume.
I cranked him up as much as I can.
I was hanging out.
Maybe you could just speak a little closer to the microphone.
All right, so I was hanging out on Facebook today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was,
Hanging out on Facebook. I think we lost you after that.
all right, so
So?
no. Hey. All right, so I was hanging out on Facebook today,
Yes.
and this guy, he's a presuppositional apologist, right?
Sounds fun.
And he asked me, what is, or why is there something rather than nothing? And I have an answer to it, but I want to hear your answer.
Oh, you were in the comments earlier.
My answer is because there is.
My answer is, why would you assume that nothing is the natural state?
I'd actually say something along the lines of the relative impossibility of the opposite, due to the fact we have no evidence that nothing can exist.
Yeah.
So how do you know your senses are reliable? How do you know any of your senses are reliable?
And if you answer that, then he'll say, "Well, that presumes that your senses are reliable." Did anybody ever see Stephen Law's take on that one? He asked,
Well, guys, my insomnia has run out. I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay. Have a good one. And my answer to the question is because there is.
Yeah, goodbye, sounds good to me.
Hope you rise again in 3 days.
3 hours, more like.
And thus leaves the green Pokeball. Oh.
Spot open.
And now all the funny little faces get to move around on the screen.
Feel free to fill our slot.
We always need those.
I don't know that, and I would agree with 13, but I would say because something necessarily.
Well, you see in the Bible, it tells us that. Oh no.
Well, in the Bible, there are these 4 lines that we pay attention to, and those are the only 4 lines that we bother with. Because, you see, the Bible says that we all know that God exists in this one line here. Now, forget all those other parts, the other, 12 or more lines where it says that we cannot know God because God's ways are far too complicated and mysterious for us mere mortals to know. We don't care about that. We care about this one line here where this guy Paul that seems to think that he's God, and even when God says that you can't understand him, Paul says that we all know him. So we're going to go what Paul says because, Paul was sitting there talking to these folks in this one little bit church. They were arguing, and he was just talking to the folks who were arguing, but we're going to forget that too because we just want to say that everyone knows that God exists, even though humans don't have the cognitive ability to know these things till they're about 2 or 3. But we're going to forget about that too, because that's not important either. Or that messy little Purahas tribe that they're just suppressed. They none of them have their knowledge of God because they're suppressing the truth in their unrighteousness.
Amen, brother.
Doesn't
Second that.
God did it is not unless you're suggesting that God is.
Zach, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop. I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely can't hear you.
I'm hearing a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're violating your mic. I'm just hoping it's consensual.
How do you know what that sounds like?
I'm just hoping he's not I'm just hoping he's violating the mic and not the mic violating him.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that the mic consented.
Oh.
Well, it was probably asking for it.
Well, if I may, a comment was just put in by Benaberry. What did God affect to cause the universe? I do have an answer for this question, but I'm going to see what the rest of the room says.
Can you repeat the question? I missed
what did God affect to create the universe?
Yeah, what did God affect to create the universe?
Oh, that one's easy. He doesn't affect anything. He's the final cause, not the efficient. So there's a category confusion.
Is the question like what is the material cause that God used in creating the universe?
What did God affect to cause the universe?
Right.
So the answer as weird as you can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's my recommendation. That's not his request. That's my request.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with the easy one. Your mom.
Oh! Okay. I'm going to break this down as simply as I can. You see, when a god loves a nothingness, the 2 of them get together and they go out for dinner and have a few drinks, and before you know it, 9 months later, you've got a universe.
Mm-hmm. But then the ex-wife shows up, Ex Nihilo. You might have heard of her.
Oh, I've met her. Yeah. She's kind of nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Real screamer, though. I got to tell you.
You don't get something from nothing. I don't care if there's a god. It's special pleading.
Only if you're trying to make him out to be the efficient cause, which I wouldn't.
Oh, you should go tell that to a bank.
Hey, the bank, whatever they do, I don't care. Give me the money. I'll keep paying you. That's all I'm.
No, the thing is, the notion of getting something from nothing is fairly ill-formed anyway, because there is no evidence that nothing can exist in and of itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Something necessarily.
Negation.
Necessarily something. However you want to put it. Right? I mean, there is no such thing as nothing.
Well, as far as we know, but we can't absolutely demonstrate that yet.
Because if you start talking about nothing, you're talking about something. You can't talk about nothing without talking about something. So
for those of you
necessarily something.
For those of you who are interested, there's actually a 200-page book about nothing, and I actually wish I was making that.
Is it called Seinfeld the novel?
It could be.
So, I mean, seriously,
it's actually a philosophical work done.
What would a book about nothing look like? There wouldn't be a book.
Well, no, the subject
it's on
matter
the
doesn't matter.
subject matter of nothing.
Yeah.
No, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't talk about nothing.
Yeah, there's a
Talk
whole
about something.
Well, you could possibly read the book first and then make up your mind about it.
No, you can't. You just can't.
You just can't?
No,
Okay.
you can't.
Well,
Because
you can't.
as soon as you bring
What
up,
are you doing?
as soon as you bring up nothing, you're talking about something.
Yeah, but
You're
the
talking
word
about
silence refers
as
to
though
the
it's
concept of silence.
Yeah,
The word
yeah,
silence and the concept silence are two different things.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But that's something. I mean,
You are letting yourself get caught up in
We're confusing words and the reference.
How about we just
No,
do...
I understand that,
we
but
could-
see,
if you like,
the
we could
thing
use
is
Latin
with
terms.
theists, they do the same thing.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that it doesn't give
Because-
you permission to do it.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
switch this thing to morality. You know, I can give you a objective standard of morality.
Great.
But-
I'd-
Well, okay,
no,
but what does
that's
that have
not
to do with
this.
the previous topic of nothing?
I'd love to see anyone give an objective standard of morality. Go for it.
Really?
I think I can,
I'll
but
do
I'd
it.
like to hear
Yeah.
Jack's.
Here we go. Okay, so mine's, it's the objective standard of morality. To put it very simply, is I don't know if it's brain fart.
Go ahead, take your time.
I was going to troll. How does son of a bitch factor into morality? That's just trolling, though.
Dum,
You know what?
dum,
My mother never
dum,
saw me
dum,
tired
dum,
calling me a
dum.
son of a bitch.
Dum 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 da 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 dum.
Hold on.
da,
I muted myself,
dum,
but I laughed.
Dum dum da dum.
Zach,
dum,
are
dum.
you going to start giving
dum,
us a definition of
dum.
objective morality soon?
Well, the definition of morality
Big
itself.
feisty. I like it.
Hold on. The definition of morality itself, the word means like the interaction between autonomous agents and whether it is right or wrong what you're doing.
Well, Zach, can I maybe offer you a possible definition of morality?
Yeah.
So morality is about what we ought do and ought not do, and why.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, then you're not professing objective morality. You're just professing, well, not objective morality.
No.
I'm
It's
not sure
not.
whatever.
It's not about. It's not about what you ought to do. It's about what is moral or what is immoral.
And those morals are the oughts or ought nots.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if you want to act morally, you ought do X, Y, or Z. But there's not a thing that compels you to do X, Y, or Z.
Okay, we haven't said that there is, but continue.
It's not a physical thing that forces you into doing a certain or performing a certain act, right?
I don't know that I can agree
I
with
mean,
that.
even if there is a God, God cannot, with free will, God cannot.
Whoa, wait. It's not
do
about
anything.
criticizing another person's position. Let's just assume that divine command theory is wrong here, or other theistic and any and all theistic models. Let's just get that out of the bat. It does not mean you have proven objective morality. It just means someone else is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so it's important, right, Zach, for your moral philosophy to address concerns in Christian theology, sure, but disproving Christian theology doesn't prove that there is a secular objective morality.
No, it certainly doesn't. And
Exactly.
even that, and when you get into Christian morality, what you're talking about is this notion of a morality from God. And when you're talking about ontology, ontologically speaking, that would still be subjective, just subjective from the mind of
Right,
God.
so-
It wouldn't even be objective then.
So the objective moral standard is what each individual desires for themselves.
That would be subjective.
Yeah, pretty much.
I understand that you're going to say this is subjective, but this is the standard between every single person.
So
then
Zach,
that's intersubjective. It doesn't make it objective.
Well, sure, it's intersubjective.
Hold on. So, Zach, so we can be clear, can you please tell us what you mean by subjective and objective?
Well, I mean, subjective is kind of like mind dependent, like individual mind dependent. Objective is, I mean, it exists. It's not an individual's thought. Is that right or not?
Yeah, it would be independent of a mind.
Yeah.
It would be independent of a mind.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Now the problem is that if it's whether it's an individual or a group that it's coming from the minds of, it's still going to be subjective due to the fact that it's still dependent on a mind. For it to be objective, it would have to be independent of any cognition.
It relies on minds existing, but it's not the product of a mind. You know what I mean?
The fact that minds can feel pain is not a subjective fact. It's an objective fact, even though it pertains to minds. Is that what you're getting at, Zach?
Say that again?
So the fact that minds can feel pain and certain things cause minds to feel pain isn't a subjective fact. It's an objective fact, even though it pertains to minds.
Yes, that's what I'm meaning with morality. It's a consequence of autonomous agents.
I don't think you have to have autonomy for that to be true.
Well, maybe not necessarily. But, I mean, that's... morality, this is it. Morality, as far as I understand, is a consequence of interacting autonomous agents.
Okay.
Do you understand what that means, though? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure what autonomy. You seem to be using the word autonomy here, and I'm not sure exactly why. It seems that brains can feel pain, and there are things that I
mean, with autonomy,
without autonomy necessarily being.
With autonomy, I mean an entity that has some ability to direct itself in some way, shape, or form.
Now, here's the thing, though. Morality, no matter how you slice it, is dependent on a mind. Without a person to have morality, it's
dependent on minds existing, but not a mind. That's why it's not subjective.
What?
You know what I mean?
No, because if it comes from a mind, it's still going to be subjective. Even if it were to be based on the opinion of God, it would still be subjective. Because it still comes from a mind.
It doesn't come from a mind. It is a consequence of minds existing. Just like if I hit you in the face, it would be a consequence of my mind telling me to hit you in the face. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
That's objective. Like, I could objectively hit you in the face.
Yep, yes you can.
So it's a consequence of minds existing.
Well, to clarify, do dogs have minds?
Yes, dogs.
So they also have morality.
This is okay.
Also, trees can hit me in the face.
And this is why it's not relative, because it applies to God, it applies to humans, it applies to non-human animals.
So if there are no minds, would there be morality?
What's that?
So if there were no minds, would there be morality?
No, there wouldn't.
Then in that case, it's not objective.
Yes, it is.
Because objective would mean independent of a mind.
It's not
independent of any
mind. It's a consequence.
Actually, it happens. It has to be. Subjective means relying on the
an individual.
Well, not just an individual, but it actually has to pertain to emotions and feelings and opinions of a mind. And this doesn't, right? This is what he's saying is either true or false, independent of what people think about it. It just involves the fact that minds exist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because minds exist, morality.
Okay, because minds exist, morality. But who's to say which actions are objectively better than others?
It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. That's the thing.
Okay, but which actions are better than others?
And why?
So if you act upon another person against their autonomy, you're acting immorally.
Why?
It's just that simple.
Why?
Because that's what morality is.
Hold on.
That's why.
I have a question about that. So is it then immoral to punish people against their will for committing crimes against other people?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Can I ask something else to correct?
And it's immoral to force your children to do whatever you want them to. But you know what? Sometimes you have to act immorally.
Okay, so Zach, let's give you a concrete position here, right? Let's say I come across somebody raping somebody else, right? I would obviously have to violate their autonomy to apprehend them. Would that be wrong?
Yes, wrong, immoral. It would be immoral. Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Seth, you immoral bastard.
Wow.
But sometimes you have to be. You have.
Okay.
To
Well, what's the other side of that? What's more immoral in that situation? Not to violate their autonomy or not?
What's that?
So in that specific situation that was just given, what is more immoral or more moral in that situation? To violate their autonomy or not to?
They're both immoral.
And that's the end of the conversation. Wow, you got a great model of the world there.
It's immoral. Nice job, Zach. But for you to force him to stop raping her is also immoral. But
yeah,
that's.
Wait. I need.
You know what those words mean?
There's a strange
Your
portal
model
opening. I think it might be an airlock.
Your model is leading you to inaction.
No, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want to. Like, there's no God telling you.
Of course, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about
for
you.
acting immoral. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't know how else to explain it. It is immoral to force somebody to do something against their will, and it's just that simple. That's it.
I would rather go with moral nihilism over that position myself.
Well, then go with moral nihilism if you want.
Okay. I may want to recommend that you look into this a little bit further before having a future conversation on the matter.
I would recommend The Moral Landscape by Sam Harris, or Scott Clifton's Treatise on Morality, or Matt Dillahunty's The Superiority of Secular Morality.
That's a good place to start.
All out, actually.
I can't do it.
Also check out also just type into Google an introduction into metaethics. That's your best place to start.
I will.
Okay.
But I'm totally prepared to defend myself.
Can't hear you, Zach.
He's totally prepared to defend his position, is what he said.
Oh, that's gonna be.
He will fight to the death and force us to do things we don't want to do.
Well, when it comes to deism, Christianity in particular, it says in Christianity that nobody is sinless, right? Everybody is a sinner.
Well, that varies.
Did I mishear him? Did he say deism?
I think he meant Christianity.
Okay.
Yeah, theism.
Well, Christianity, at least. So, this theory that I'm forwarding here doesn't go against what Christianity claims to be the case with morality.
Okay, airlock.
Thank you so much for that.
Oh, that was as much of that as I could take. And the chat was sitting there waving by already, so fuck this shit. Wow, can you say you are the weakest link? Holy crap. Okay,
My position might be bad, but...
I have to take back... I hate to do this, but I have to take back the majority of what I've said about, quote-unquote, the average YouTube theist in the Great Debate community. That was fucking painful. Oh my god. Wow. I can't communicate a thought properly. Wow. Okay, can we come up with a topic that's not going to make me feel like my IQ's dropping, please?
We could go back to talking about Animaniacs. I kind of like that discussion.
I love the fact that he concluded that it's moral to stop repeat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Once you conclude that, you might as well say, fuck it, morals don't exist. That's a much better system. At least you're consistent.
Animaniacs, they belong.
He's trying to be, don't do anything.
Ugh. You know, I'm one that, you know, I used to always ask this question. If you had the power to save or destroy the world, what would you do? And most people don't hear the what, because it isn't a binary choice. But you know what? Oh my, yuck! There's a time when you should do something instead of nothing. Holy crap! Wow. Sorry, I'm just okay.
I was not expecting that answer at all when I asked him about his position on race.
I don't even think Ayn Rand would have accepted that position. That's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. Okay, where's that weird noise from?
Dagukin, please do something about your mic or sound.
No, it's just painful.
Wow. Just wow. So, to the people watching, I hope you weren't enjoying the train wreck. I think it had already derailed, gone off the tracks, gone down the hill, gone through a few houses. I think that was enough pain. Because, wow, yeah, okay. And we now have a car that is driven into the room?
Yeah, but it's a Hyundai.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's okay then.
Is it?
No, it's a Honda.
Okay, it's a Honda. I have to kick him.
As my mechanic teacher used to say, but it's a Honda.
Okay.
Inside joke no one here would understand. I don't even know why I said it.
We're just not inside.
We're outside.
It's a Daewoo.
I can't pronounce that. I'm going to have to actually... Dagukin?
Yeah, I just call him Dagukin.
Dagukin. Dagukin, Malukin. Okay.
You've heard of Haidukin, now is Dagukin.
Wow, that completely fucking derailed my brain. Holy crap.
What kind of sound does that G make with that thing over it?
Wish I remembered what language has that that triangle over the G there.
That's Thai or something.
I keep mousing over it to see, so that I can see the name, and I keep looking at the wrong screen going, wait a minute, why isn't it working? Yeah, the TV's way too far away. Hello, Mr. Automobile. Can you speak? Are you a talking car?
Dagukin Dagu.
Well, he's muted.
Yeah, that was me because his mic kept making this sound. So there was that.
And it was getting louder.
That too.
Dun 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 dun. Oh no. It's the attack of the mic. Okay, well, let's see now. Non-communicative people can... now we get one more. Wait, do we have one more slot? Yeah, I guess we do.
Yeah, we do.
And we can leave Mr. Otto here for now.
Who is that?
So, do you like the color green, Mr. Dog? Ooh.
Maybe we're speaking the wrong language. Let me try this. Vroom, 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 vroom. Beep, beep.
Which is better, lime or chartreuse?
I like chartreuse.
Sounds fancier.
Exactly.
Okay, we have a message from Origin. I am the guy who was on I Am Drunk and I Still Love You Guys.
So that was the
isn't
guy
that
was on.
sweet? Dude,
Zach
get better
was on
arguments
here.
and come back. Holy crap, man. Or be sober, something.
Zach was your buddy, Faithless.
Well, yeah, I don't actually know him, but
Well, I know. I just mean this evening. For
yeah. I mean, I'll poke fun at anyone, so I don't mind.
He sure is making
Well,
funny noise.
I know that.
Mr. Automobile can come back when he has a real microphone. Bye-bye, thank you for
Try it
visiting.
again later, buddy.
I like that button, it's fun.
All right, we got 2 spots up.
That makes me happy. Because I have an inner troll that likes to come out sometimes. Oh, let's see now, and everyone's being gray for some reason, and I don't know why. You shouldn't be. Did I just screw something up and mute all you people by mistake?
No, you didn't. We're
okay.
still talking.
Damn, we'll have to try harder.
So, David, what's it like being in the future?
It's bright. It's orange. It's shiny.
Oh, that's great. My wife loves orange.
It's bright, and apparently they don't need no stinking roads.
No roads, no.
Do they have hover cars yet?
Yes, they do, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I get a hoverboard?
I think you can, yeah.
Did anyone fall for that hoverboard viral campaign?
I kind of did. At first, I thought they were being serious, but then I realized, oh no, they're not.
Oh, bad.
I heard the hype and I was excited when I watched
that would work now?
Oh, wait, I heard a noise.
Oh, I think that was my pouring of a beer. That's all.
Oh, never mind, okay. Hey, that's right, I already kicked Carboy. Oh, I could send out more invites, I suppose, but I don't know. I'm kind of horrified to at this point.
The Festivus. What are you drinking?
It's a microbrew from up north in Quebec.
Nice. How long have you been living in Quebec for?
Many years. I did live in Ottawa, Ontario for a while, but I spent most of my life in Montreal.
I have a family in Laval. Yeah. They're part of the Lebanese Quebec community.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been.
I live near Ontario, California.
Are they? I gotta somewhat ask. Wait, what?
I live near Ontario, California. It's really annoying sometimes looking up like restaurants, and I put Ontario, and it shows me a restaurants in Ontario, Canada. I'm like, fuck.
Of course it does. But yeah, you'd figure that since Google spies on all your stuff, they'd figure out that you're in California.
Really? Damn it, Google! I thought the invasion of privacy would at least be helpful in one regard.
Precisely. Yeah.
I don't know. I just keep thinking back to the Onion thing that they did ages ago. That people that don't want to be on Google Maps having this little colony kind of thing that you're not allowed near the internet and all that. It was a fun one.
Oh man.
But I was going to ask about your family in Laval, because Quebec is slightly more anti-Islam than the rest of Canada.
Yeah,
by 5%.
They're not Muslims. They're They're Lebanese Maronite Christians.
Okay.
So they have that going for them, which is nice.
Right. Which is strange because the Muslim community, I should say, in Quebec is really not fundamentalist, except for a very, very fringe group. But it's like the more progressive Muslims that live here, but yet there's this cultural impression that they're a threat. Which is, yeah. If you check the surveys, Quebecers tend to think that Muslims are more threatening than the rest of Canadians do. So
yeah, I remember that.
I don't know
survey.
why that is.
I also read that survey. Apparently, Jews are number 2 on the list, which is funny.
Yeah, but number 1 on the list by far is religious leaders. They are the most distrusted group in Quebec. There's some sort of bizarre world going on because atheists and non-religious are the most trusted group in Quebec, in terms of religion. So they're the most trusted, 75% approval rate in terms of trust. And the least trustworthy is religious leaders, so priests, imams, you name it. Any religious leader is
there like a door knocking correlation, or?
I don't think so.
Man,
it's just one of those things.
No, that's actually pretty funny. And
for whatever reason, hookah bars are pretty popular in Southern California. I don't know if they're as popular everywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was a fad in the 90s.
I used to frequent them pretty frequently, especially before I could drink. So I had some friends who were from the Middle East and are Muslims.
Right.
And my friend Ali invited me to his house at one time. It was the first time I was there, and I had my friend Kenny there, and Kenny is sheltered. And so we went into his house, and raised in the Catholic high school. No, not raised in the Catholic, but he went to Catholic high school. We went to his house, and his sister was wearing a hijab. Yeah, the hijab is the scarf, not the...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, hijab is the one that covers the...
I had to think about that for a second. She was wearing a hijab, and Kenny said, I have to go to the bathroom, and as he goes, he passes me and whispers to me, sleeper cell.
Oh, dude.
He has a sense of humor about that. That's nice.
I'm not sure he was kidding. He lived a sheltered life. I think he was slightly worried.
In Quebec, a huge problem that's been coming up with the Muslim community is the fact that they're trying to get the hijab out of public places and
no, not public places.
Not public places. I mean, for people who work in the public sector.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people that represent the government is really what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and when that bill was passed, not only did Muslims, but Christians and Jews went down to protest.
Yeah, it wasn't actually passed.
Yeah.
It was on the table being discussed, but yeah. It wasn't passed, so it's not enacted. And that party just lost the provincial election, so it probably will not happen for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Charter of Quebec Values. Yeah. The proposed Charter of Quebec Values.
I'm kind of impressed. The only thing that unites religious people together is secularists.
Yeah.
Group.
Well, that and ridicule of Scientology.
We all actually, I think everyone who isn't a Scientologist will agree that Scientology is crazy. Like, yeah. I think I know Raelians who will say Scientology is crazy.
There's I live nearby, and as knucklehead, early 20-somethings, we used to drive by the Scientology headquarters, which is in the
Clearwater
Golden Era Productions.
That one.
Their official headquarters is in Florida, but their non-official real headquarters, according to most people who are familiar with the church, is in New Era Productions. Or Golden Era Productions in Hemet, California. There's this really creepy thing that would happen if you drove past they have like a sniper's nest up on a hill past the compound and a bunch of cameras around, to the point where if you would supposedly you'd like drive past the compound like 5 miles out, and with your middle finger on the dash, then put it down by your lap as you pass the guard shack, the guards would flip you off.
Well, culty.
Oh yeah, massive. Grant. Yeah, they have a couple serious locations. They have one in New Mexico, I believe it is, where there's a freaking vault. It's hilarious. They actually bought it from the government. It was this big weird deal that went on there.
I was in sign installer for a while, and I was installing signs at the Kaiser Permanente in Los Angeles, California, and it's right on L. Ron Hubbard Way, right across from one of their more auspicious churches. Which is right around the corner from the Celebrity Center, which is right around the corner from the Psychology and Industry of Death Museum.
Yep, I did a whole fucking series dealing with that fucking thing.
There are a ton of Scientology bookstores in downtown LA.
Yep. Yeah, because Celebrity Center is one of their big pushes to try and get the celebrities. I mean, the thing is, they don't really care so much about the general people. They just kind of try to get people that don't have much money for the sake of trying to get people to run their orgs and make, you know, $30 to $50 a freaking month. But the celebrities, the people with money, are the ones that they really give a shit about. And yes, Benaberry, we're suppressives, we're SPs, fuck off.
My friend Logan accidentally, without knowing much about Scientology at the time, walked into the Psychology and Industry of Death Museum, not knowing that it was tied to Scientology. Went through the whole spiel thinking, wow, is this stuff true? I've got some research to do when I got home. And they sit you down at the end with this video explaining, oh, how did they have some official name, the Citizens Chapter for...
Citizens Commission for Human Rights.
Yes. And they explain, how did this start? And they go, oh, well, grant from the Church of Scientology. And we're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. But there is actually a pretty serious anti-psych movement even beyond that. But they hold up that Industry of Death movie that they have associated with that museum as being, the big source to go to criticize because it's the only real movie criticizing. Yeah, fucking piece of shit. Of course, my favorite is that they have Skinner's box in there. That's my personal favorite. Skinner's box! Yeah, that's a load of shit, and we know that. Just snope it sometime, dude. Come on. But that and so many other claims that they have in there that are just completely fucking idiotic and bogus. It's fucking hilarious. It was like a, good God, it was like 26-part series dealing with that fucking thing. The Anons were protesting at the time, and they're like, oh, would you mind going after this? And I'm like, fine. So I get like 2 episodes, and they're like, oh, by the way, our protest is this Saturday. I'm like, you motherfuckers. So I poured through that thing. Oh, God, good grief. And most of my links aren't even any good anymore, and I ended up taking the whole thing down to basically bury it because I got tired of dealing with the anti-psych conspiracy nuts. But I ended up putting the thing back up as an archive. It was like 2.5 fucking hours. That was fucking painful. Had to watch it like 8 times at least just to get it all done. It sucked. Yeah, it was bad.
But do you know if there's anywhere where they have the real numbers of adherents to Scientology? Because of course, what's his name, Miscavige, always saying that they keep increasing their ranks. There's new people joining every day. Yet it seems from the outside like it's a sinking ship.
Yeah, they claim to have. They claim to have over 1 billion. Adherence.com had a tally at one point. I don't know if they still do. But basically the real numbers are almost impossible to find. But at last check, the number was under 100,000.
Wow.
Well under. I can't give a current number, but the estimate was more like 34,000.
Does anyone know if there's anything actually worth looking into about David Miscavige's wife not making too many appearances? I know.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't make any appearances. As far as people know, she's completely off the grid. There was somebody that was essentially thrown out of the cult for asking too many questions about her.
Yeah, it was
there is allegedly a secret Scientology facility where they essentially have some people locked up so they don't get near the public, and it's claimed that she's there.
I think
is that recent? Because
no.
In Jenna Miscavige Hill's book, she talks a lot about her aunt, and she mentions her aunt a lot, and there's a lot written about her aunt in her book. But I do remember that when she was getting close to leaving Scientology, her aunt, sort of disappeared out of the picture.
Yeah,
there's no real explanation.
Man, that cult is scary.
All I know is it goes back well before 2006. I think it goes back to about the year 2000, maybe late 1990s. She's been out of the picture for a long ass fucking time.
The person that left the church, is that the woman that played the wife on King of Queens?
I think she did. Yes, she did as well. But that's a celebrity. Jenna Miscavige. Yeah, the one I was talking about is Jenna Miscavige Hill. She's the niece of David Miscavige, and she was raised in Scientology, and she joined Sea Org when she was 13, I think it was.
Can I kick people out of the chat for talking about morality? No, never mind.
Only when it's badly done.
And what's so relevant about her disappearing?
Basically, you have somebody that had all their rights taken away, and they were thrown away in a proverbial cell and left there to rot.
Oh wow!
Presumably in the
Yeah, I forget what the name of the facility is, but it's where they make people disappear.
Pretty much.
There's actually a Scientology memo from L. Ron Hubbard when he's still alive about a certain I can't remember, auditing technique to make people clear in basically one step. I can't remember the
RJ-46 or something like that. It's basically a gun to the head.
Yeah. Which this is pretty much confirmed.
Now, mind you, I haven't dealt with this crap for... I've been on here 6 years now. My first 2 years were mostly covering Scientology. I've managed to purge a good amount of the data, which I'm very happy about, because I was virtually living that shit for a while because I had to have it memorized so well.
But from what limited knowledge I have about the cult, it really went on steroids when Miscavige took over. Like the Hubbard, it was filled with woo and all this Dianetics idiocy and.
Well, I'm not sure that's the case because L. Ron Hubbard did make the memo that we were talking about basically auditing people with a gun, and there's the other thing that L. Ron Hubbard did with the
fair game policy.
Fair game policy, right? And of course, his wife, was she convicted? She convicted of murder, or what happened with that? L. Ron Hubbard's wife?
Hubbard's wife? No. What happened was, are you really dealing with things like Operation Snow White, which was the largest government infiltration ever, and they were essentially blackmailing certain members of the IRS as part of trying to get their tax-exempt status. They were found out and ended up getting busted, and there were federal charges levied against them. A number of people took the fall for this, including L. Ron's wife.
Right.
Yeah, but also as part of the deal, they ended up getting rid of the Guardian's office and replaced it with Sea Org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OSA. Sorry, OSA. The Office of Special Affairs took the place of the Guardian's office. So basically, it's just the same thing under a different name. They also discontinued Fair Game, but in the note that said they were discontinuing Fair Game, they were discontinuing the name Fair Game.
If you want to, there's a really good book on it that I read recently, not really recently, but fairly recently, called Inside Scientology. That's pretty good.
Who's the author?
Oh God, I have to look into it.
Because I'm pretty sure that I'm not sure if that's the one, but I think I know them.
But yeah, what I meant that controlling Sea Org members' sexuality and sequestering people got turned up a notch when Miscavige took over. Is the understanding I got.
Well, what happened? There were some people that were supposed to take over after L. Ron, and they were essentially usurped by Miscavige.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, David Miscavige made it his duty basically to be the only one around when L. Ron Hubbard died, and of course that's not what happened according to Scientology. According to Scientology and David Miscavige, L. Ron Hubbard didn't die. He had no more use for his physical body, so he left it to come back.
Regardless of the amount of drugs that were found in his system during the autopsy, there would have normally, under normal circumstances, been a big investigation into foul play, especially with how anti-psychiatric drug the man was, but he was loaded with psych meds when he died.
But Seth, you have to know that what you're saying, people can't learn this until they've reached Operating Thetan level 8.
Yeah.
And if they learn that before then, it could be extremely dangerous.
Oh man, my mind's about to explode from that.
They're thinking about, really, at least according to some rumors, they're thinking about releasing OT level 9.
Ooh.
Damn, that would shake the world's foundations.
Exactly. I'm going to step in for just one moment here. Origin, hi, how are you doing? Saying that you can punch somebody in the face is never a good form of argumentation. Find a new one. Sorry, continue.
They have a mansion that's furnished and waiting for L. Ron Hubbard when he comes back, and Golden Era Production Studios at the Hemet compound.
Yeah, they also have an L. Ron Hubbard museum with all kinds of fun stuff in it, like an Indian headdress that they actually stole from the Blackfoot. One of the many claims Hubbard made was that he was blood brother to the Blackfoot, which don't actually have this tradition. So what they did was they had one of their Narconon facilities there. They got somebody through the Narconon treatment and then convinced them to swipe them a headdress, and then they brought it to their little museum and said, nope, 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 he was a blood brother. He really was.
Isn't all this a joke, though?
No, no.
I mean, I know it's real, but I mean, wasn't it originally like it was kind of like a dare or something? Like it was him being able to show that he understood the mechanics of how religion works, so therefore he created.
No, there's a rumor, and there's fairly reasonable evidence of it, that at one point he had made the offhand joke that if he ever wanted to get rich, he'd start a religion.
So all that's got translated into trying to explain away what Scientology is, in a way.
Well, the Scientology came out of something completely different. It was basically he jumped onto the pop psychology movement and tried to promote this as being the answer to, all mental illnesses. And he seemed to think that he had the great answer. Now, this came up, of course, about 5-10 years after he tried writing to the APA of all groups, asking for psychiatric help. And yeah, the APA doesn't do that. You have to go see an individual shrink. So they basically told him to fuck off at that point. Then he decided he was going to start his own kind of psychiatry and rivaled them. And the APA said, fuck you, you're a quack, and went to shut the place down. So he had all his little psychotherapy bullshit centers pretty much declared a religion virtually overnight so they wouldn't get shut down.
The quote about L. Ron Hubbard starting a religion if he actually wanted to become rich is actually in a Reader's Digest interview.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, basically, Hubbard was making a lot of money from the Dianetics because basically he was doing organizing Dianetics seminar where people paid to have all their ills, taken care of through Dianetics.
Well,
and
actually,
with the IPA, basically, eventually they're getting tired of all these claims and not having any evidence to back them up. And so basically, making the switch to religion is how he got out of.
Of course, what I really love is the E-meter, because they were sitting there claiming that this was this wonderful lie detector, and then when they started then it was discovered that, well, sometimes when somebody says the truth, it'll claim that they're lying, and it's like, oh well, yeah, but in another life that happened.
It's true. It's true that there were early Dianetic seminars, but in actuality, Dianetics started out as not exactly self-help, because you had to get a friend to help you. But the idea behind Dianetics is to get friends to help you audit you.
Yeah.
And that changed when it made the leap to religion.
Well, technically, the auditing itself came a little bit later. There was this guy that was promoting this. It was basically supposed to be a party game of sorts after it was shown to be bullshit as a lie detector. And L. Ron Hubbard actually brought this into the group after a little ways, but initially it was just supposed to be more like just talking to each other.
By the way, they record the auditing sessions at least before they're clear, and they keep those records on file.
Yeah, that also came a little bit later. Initially, it was just this pop psychology movement.
By the way, auditing sessions aren't like tell us how you feel. Auditing sessions deeply involve any traumatic event you've ever had in your life. You have to explain it in detail over and over again until you no longer feel traumatic or stressed or sad about it.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically the gist of it was L. Ron Hubbard was like, I want to start my own psychology thing. The APA said, no, that's crazy.
So they turned into a religion, yeah.
Yep. So, screw you guys. I'm going to start my own psychology with E-meters and thetans. Forget psychology.
There was even a period just before it became officially a religion where Hubbard was pretty much exiled, living on a boat offshore, because otherwise he could be
arrested for fraud.
Yeah. So he was basically trapped on his boat until it became a religion, and then he finally...
There's actually a pretty fun story during this time period about them smuggling him into the country, meeting him in, I think it was Las Vegas, and them exchanging the sum of like $200,000 in unmarked bills in a suitcase, which he then took and went back out on the boat with. I don't know whether it's true or not, but these are some people that were involved with the Guardians division that I've spoken to that kind of confirmed it.
True of most cults. Scientology takes basically any word with any significance within the religion and changes it to something that which basically means the same thing, but they can, of course, deny later if anyone brings it up and tries to hammer them on or back them into a corner. Souls are Thetans.
That kind of suggestion is not very ethical.
Well, you know, this whole thing about trying to decide what is and isn't ethical, I mean, really, you have to keep in mind that you are the Theta being and you're interacting with a messed world. And when you start bringing all this stuff up, I mean, you have all this positive Theta going on, and all you're doing is creating unnecessary in Theta by bringing up this at all, really.
Yeah, you could risk interpolating people.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want the interpolation, absolutely not, because that just causes the unnecessary in Theta.
Have you ever seen videos by people like the Angry Gay Pope who actually go up and interview Scientologists leaving orgs, and how creepy the responses are? Whenever they try to ask about the history of Scientology and the dirty history of Scientology, the immediate answer from all of these people are, "What are your crimes? What are your crimes? What are you hiding?" And then almost directly afterwards, when they stick them to it, is, "Are you a pedophile?"
Yeah, I predate the Angry Gay Pope. When the movement really started, the initial protests, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and they were initially advised by some folks like Mark Bunker and a few others in terms of how to deal with it, because they were just going around putting out flyers. It's like, no, dude, at least protect your fucking identity, or these guys are going to fuck you hardcore. And the more information got out, the more the non started getting involved, and they had all these initial protests in which, in addition to the "what are your crimes," and accusing them of being criminals and all this kind of stuff, they're also saying, "You don't know anything about our religion." And they're like, "Oh yeah, Xenu." Well, most Scientologists don't know about fucking Xenu. That's OT3, for fuck's sake. So the Anons didn't know jack shit about them, and they were being immediately discredited for not understanding a damn thing about Scientology. So I went through the books. I went through Science of Survival, and unfortunately that series got lost when I forgot to back it up. And I went through their History of Man, and I went through a little bit with some of the Dianetic stuff. And of course I did quite a number of series dealing with it, so that the Anons would know what the fuck they were talking about. And that really started pissing off the Scientologists, especially when I started getting the ex-Scientologist message board and started learning what some of the real nitty-gritty inside words that they use that aren't generally public knowledge.
Did you use tone level 40 at all? I'm sorry. Did you use tone level 40 at all when replying to them?
At one point, I actually downloaded a PDF of History of Man. I haven't read it. Is it worth reading?
Actually, are you referring to being tone in terms of tone scale level? It's 4.0. It's not actually 40, but
my bad.
Yeah, the tone scale goes from 1 to 4, and if you find somebody at one place on the tone scale, you'll find them all the way across the row, which means that if you have arthritis, you're a pedophile.
Would you actually, I forgot. So this sounds vaguely familiar, but I totally forgot about the tone scale. Would you break it down for me?
Oh, good God, it's been so long. The tone scale goes from 4.0 all the way down to 1 being the lowest. The mid-range is just above 2. In the teachings of Scientology, if you're 2 or below in the tone scale, you should be removed from society. Isn't that lovely? I did a video talking about Scientology's real view towards civil rights, and it discusses this. Basically, their view is that somebody that is aberrated should not be allowed citizenship, and this would be an ideal society. Now, of course, the only way to not be aberrated is through Scientology auditing. What a shocker on that one. But the higher you get on the tone scale, the closer you get to 4, the less aberrated, the better a person you are. And it's really fucking weird. For example, sex under the tone scale, if you get to 4, then you don't actually get any technical pleasure from sex, which is even weirder.
But from what I understood, tone scale was also about clarity of communication. So basically, if you're closer or at 4.0, your communication is clear and everyone can understand.
Yeah,
and there's no way to be misunderstood. And if you're way low on the tone scale,
the tone scale is broken into like 26 categories, I think, or something like this. Communication being one of them.
So
But-
Scientologists believe that in traumatic situations you should be quiet. Does this count for sex? Do they have quiet sex as well?
I don't really remember that one too much. I did do a video talking about Scientology and sex. It was a fun little lampoon. But I will say this: you're supposed to have silent childbirth. The mother's not supposed to make a noise.
Yes, I know that.
Oh wow.
If you're a Sea Org member, you're not allowed to have sexual relations. You're not allowed to have a relationship if you're a Sea Org member.
No, but it does happen, and when you get pregnant,
It does happen.
And if they get pregnant, they're trotted down to this little place where they get an abortion.
But yeah, relationships inevitably happen even, but they use that to basically blackmail those guilty of having relationships because they're human.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, they blackmail the people and control them and separate the couples and send one to Florida and the other to California and all sorts of stuff.
They're
Sounds like a fun area to
friendly.
study.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been fun. Thanks for the conversation.
The shuffle has worked. You're ready to crash. Have a good one.
Peace out.
And I'm in the kitchen, so I'm probably beeping and making all kinds of lovely noises.
Not that much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Now you are.
Yeah, I get robotic when I get over by where the sandwich station is. I hear somebody going doop doop doop. What, did everyone else fucking fall asleep in here?
That was me. My bad.
No, I was wondering how many people were still awake in here. It looks like Nadia's dead.
Yeah.
World.
Well, I poked her with a stick and she moved.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to give her the airlock because she can sleep off air. Airlock. Go.
Wait, doesn't Google put you asleep? When you were not interacting with Google Plus, doesn't it just ask if you're asleep, and if you are, it kicks you off automatically?
Yeah, that takes like 4 hours.
Seriously? Wow.
Almost. It's like 3.5.
But what I feel I should look into these days is a local cult in my area called the Raelians.
Oh, I know the Raelians. I know those guys.
I mean, they seem so benign and inoffensive. Like, basically, it's just the leader who wants group sex, you know.
Yeah, let him have
it. I actually thought it was local to Los Angeles. I thought the biggest chapter was in LA.
No, they're in Quebec, I heard.
Well, yeah, the founder is originally from France, and yeah, he basically set his HQ, I think, in Laval, or close to Laval. Yeah.
Yeah, they believe that, well, their answer to why there's so many religions with various different points of view, yet kind of a foundational morality is aliens.
Yes.
And
the alien will return.
Yep.
I like the Raelians' idea for a symbol. Let's just take the two least likely symbols to be found together and put them together, because why the fuck not? Swastika and Star David.
Exactly. If it's so they also don't. So yeah, they believe that.
Hey, they're raising money to build an embassy for the aliens.
Yep. That seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess the landing strip is finished then.
Nah.
Because last I heard they were raising money to build a landing strip.
I know they're supposed to be trying to build an embassy. I have no idea if they've even fucking started it, but they're trying to they're planning on building an embassy.
They were also raising money to make the first human clones, weren't they?
Yeah, I heard about that. There were some rumors that they'd made one. Of course, it was completely unsubstantiated.
Right. I believe they want to gain all this stuff that religion wants, but through various sciences like immortality. Yep. Basically, what we do is we're going to clone a human body and put your mind in that human body, and that's how you get eternal life. Also, and the aliens are going to come and give us all the technology we need, and also all the prophets, old religions, they're really aliens too, but they're going to come back, and they're part of this intergalactic senate out there. So Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, they're all alien politicians.
I'm wondering why the fuck we still have. Yeah, that part's fine. I'm just wondering why we still have 12 viewers.
But in their defense, I have to say that their plan for immortality is a bit more realistic than the Judeo-Christian plan for immortality. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
It sounds at least plausible at some point in the future. Not in anytime soon, but
yeah.
Yeah, I did a Cult Night video not too long ago, lampooning them. Actually, sometime towards the end of last year. I should start back up Cult Night.
I think as a group, I would agree though that they are pretty harmless as a group. I mean, compared to the Scientologists, they're pretty good people.
Hey, at least they admit to believing in aliens.
Exactly.
Oh, this is why I thought that they were mainly in Los Angeles. So sexual predators and guides who forced missionary ideas against members who are excommunicated by the Raelian Church for a minimum of 7 years. Okay, so in 2006, Raelians in Los Angeles, California condemned acts of pedophilia, which Raelians considered disease. Okay, never mind. This is the story I thought it was.
Raelians condemning
I don't know why.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't the story I thought it was, apparently.
I'm okay with condemning acts of pedophilia.
I think we're all on the same page.
Well, the Catholic Church isn't.
That's kind of an easy one, in theory.
Well, even they've known that they were acting like assholes. They're changing. Well, at least they're addressing the issue.
Well, I don't know. I've heard them saying they're changing, but I haven't seen any concrete results.
Well, actually, at the risk of being completely non-controversial, what I think the Catholic Church should do, instead of shuffling around the priests, I think that they should take them in Vatican Square and hang them all upside down by their fucking ankles till they die.
So you guys will excuse me if I saw an article about a known cult and cross-referenced with the term pedophilia and thought the worst.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the Raelians basically came out so heavy against pedophilia that if they find somebody in their own member, they'll kick them the fuck out immediately. Which, you know, I like
for
that.
7 years until you're.
Oh yeah, that's right. Until all the cells in your body are replaced. That's right. I forgot about that. Thank you. Yeah, every 7 years, all the cells in your bodies are completely replaced, and you're effectively a new person. So yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, wait, who says that? What?
Raelians.
Oh, I should really give this cult a chance.
Hey, you get group sex.
I mean, it sounds less painful than a colonic.
So if you guys are looking for a podcast to listen to, there's a podcast called Oh No, Ross and Carrie, which they go and try out basically pseudoscience and maybe even look into like religious cults. They have an episode on Raelians where they go to the Raelian compound in Los Angeles.
All the interesting culture in LA. There aren't any good cults in Texas.
Are there any good cults in Tuscany, Fabio?
Not Fabio. When did you get here? Hey!
Hey,
sorry.
guys.
Hey, what's up?
I mean, there are a lot of nice places where you can have a lot of wine, which is a cult in itself, which I fully support.
Cult of Dionysus?
Ready for wine.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to start a cult in Italy when you look around and see all these old buildings, you know, dedicated to various religions. You know, you kind of look pitiful.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, the reference, the bar is so high. I mean, it's hard to beat. You know, but you start with the Vatican, and then you go with all the Roman gods. You know, it's kind of tough.
And then there are the Italian Jews who've been there for millennia.
So it's not like Texas, where a new Christian sect starts every other weekend in some other person's garage.
Nope.
Okay, I'd like to try some Italian Jewish food. Matzo ball lasagna.
No, they usually start motorcycles in garages here, and cars and stuff like that.
With a sad trombone.
Yeah, which is a cult. I mean, you might say that possibly with that is a proper cult. So it all depends. You know?
Yay, Toast.
So, how are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm still awake, unfortunately. I better mute. I'm at the end of my range here.
But 13 could. No, well, he already did the cult thing.
Yeah. Hey, I ran my own cult at 13. Damn it.
Perhaps become a preacher and become one of those rich Hollywood preachers.
That
have all the bling.
I have too much. I have too many scruples.
Well, all right, but
which basically means I have the scruples board game here. All it takes is one scruple to actually be too good for that.
Fabio, you missed the moral nihilist who thought that he could prove objective morality.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By punching you in the face?
Apparently.
Did it went well?
All that you need is a mind to exist, and then you have a concept that exists outside of the mind. What the fuck is this idiot? Oh, man. Yeah, I love you guys. I'm drunk. Yeah.
I think he was too drunk to articulate fully his idea there.
I'm not convinced he could have articulated his idea fully sober.
I would give you the benefit of that doubt until I presented him with the rape scenario, and he concluded that no, stopping a rape would be wrong.
Keep blinking. Yeah.
At least he thought the rape was wrong too. It's not like he thought the rape was a good thing.
Well, it's wrong to rape, but it's wrong to stop it. What the? I'm hoping that was the alcohol talking. I really do.
Well, two wrongs don't make a right, so he might have a point. Yeah.
Fabio, I do know what the eject button is. Troll boy. Just because you're Italian and you speak in a nice accent does not mean that I'm going to let you get away with too much trolling. I've already shown 3 people the airlock tonight. Now, usually it's an ejector seat, but tonight I've decided it's an airlock.
If you ever want to be jealous of somebody, go check out Fabio's pictures on Google+. He lives in one of the most beautiful areas in the world.
Oh yeah, that's an abandoned marble cave, which is not too far from where I live, and it's quite astonishing.
Yeah, I showed some of the pictures to my wife, and her immediate response was, "I hate him."
Yeah.
And then I turned to her and I said, "He said we can visit someday," and she says, "I love him."
Yeah.
But after a couple of years, you get jaded.
Yeah. No, but it's... Sorry?
You might get a little bit jaded after a couple. You might get jaded after a couple of years, but at the same point, it's sure as fuck beats Texas.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah, I might say it is. Actually, the funnest part is when someone visits and you actually go to those places to show them, and you see those very same places with other eyes, and you realize, fuck. I mean, it's kind of stylish, but it is right, because the fact that you always have them in your face doesn't help, to appreciate it. I mean.
Yeah, what was I want to say it was Lucca or something like that. The walled city. That's
on
my list. That's on my bucket list now.
No, that city is usually fantastic. Yeah, and it's cool because it's now it's more popular, but until 10 years it was mostly outside of the touristic classic circles. So literally there was nobody in there, and it was like, well, I mean, if you could go in there at about 2 a.m. at night and walk in the cities and just pretend you were in the 1500s, and there was literally almost nothing which could change your mind, So it's.
How close are you to Rome?
About 350 kilometers, 3 hours and a half, 4 hours drive.
Yeah, hours means more to us right now.
I'm used to kilometers.
Yeah, fuck off.
It's about 250 miles, approximately.
Good grief.
But you're south of Rome, of course.
Yeah, I know. I'm way north of Rome.
Oh, way north.
Oh, yeah. He's way north. He's not below the skirt at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he escaped the priestly skirt of Rome.
Yeah, because I only went to Rome and north of Rome, I think.
Yeah.
Myself, but I don't remember going to Tuscany.
Yeah. Well, Tuscany is the region north of Rome, but it goes basically from Lazio, which is where Rome is, up all the way up to Liguria and Emilia-Romagna.
That reminds me, I should check if the other Europeans are up.
All this talk of Italy is making me hungry and want to watch Mario Batali.
Well, he's more American than Italian, though. What you want, I imagine, is a real Italian chef.
Any chef which provides recipes for spaghetti meatballs is not Italian. I mean, it's already gone. You know, we've lost it. It's.
You know, it was the Italians who taught the French how to cook.
What?
It was the Italians who taught the French how to cook.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Apparently, what happened was there was an Italian princess who went over to France, and she married their king. And what happened was she realized all their food sucked ass. So she was like, "I'm just going to bring over my own chefs, and they're going to instruct all of you how to cook." And that's how they learned to make their pastries and their food.
And with the exception of pastries, the French then turned around and fucked it up by putting snails in shit.
Yeah.
There were several moments in history where the French courts would basically import artisans and everything from Italy. Where,
they imported gelato from the Medici family, and listen, any hangout I'm in, where you talk shit about the French, you step up, a lot of, you go way up in my ladder, So please,
I really dislike the European French people. Okay, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say. You don't know. I shouldn't say all, but 9 out of 10 French people I have met from Europe, I have hated.
I'm glad you nuanced, but actually, from having gone there, it's the Parisians.
Oh, okay. The Parisians are the worst.
The Parisians are really awful. The rest of France.
Yeah.
Totally gone, but the Parisians, holy shit.
South of France pretty sucks, but it's true. Every French hates the Parisians. That's the common denominator. It's true, and they're really shitty people.
It's weird that you say that, Epicurus, because I've known one European Frenchman, and he taught me how to fly, and I thought he was really cool. His name was Reno Jayton.
By the way, I should probably mention we are live, just because I didn't mention that when people came in, but fuck it. I didn't know if you saw the stream or not, but we are live.
Yeah.
You think some Frenchman might complain?
Oh, fuck him.
No. Since we're live, we should be insulting the French more, I meant.
Okay, yeah. No problem.
Actually, here's a video of the guy who taught me how to fly, Reno Jayton, on a rocket car.
And now we all go silent as we watch the video.
No, we all go silent as we watch the video. And we don't bother to share it with the people in the chat. And the people in the chat think, what the fuck's going on here, man? And they join another silent hangout.
Okay, then. It's official. Now it's, I'll make that, what's the fraction I'm thinking of? Okay, there's one more French person I like. So, I have now met 9 out of 11 French people I have met I have hated. So there's 2 I liked.
Well, but that proves my point. I mean, if you live in a shitty country like that, the only sensible thing to do is strap yourself to a jet car and ignite it. So,
are you talking about fraction, Pierre? Never mind.
Keep in mind you didn't hear me talk enough yet, so give it time.
We never hear you talk enough.
He's got a few world records. His wife actually holds, at least at the time when I talked to him, the world record for a hot foot behind a motorcycle. Standing up on shoes, basically, behind a motorcycle, being dragged behind it.
And somebody volunteered for this.
Yeah, his wife.
And he let her.
That's love.
Sounds like that sounds like a real healthy relationship to me.
Yeah.
Don't fall, honey. You know I love you, don't you? No, what do you mean? I'm not really trying to push you off. This is just theatrics. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can loosen your grip. You're really not going to fall. No.
You won't feel the pain because it will be so immediate. You won't feel the pain. So.
Well, good night, David. If you, you come back and listen to the rest.
Oh, why bother with that?
He slipped out incognito.
It happens. It's theoretically getting to be that time, that
It
either
is.
I get tired or the rest of the Europeans start logging in.
Well,
We'll see which happens second.
You're eating, so it'll be nap time soon, right?
Actually, I'm fixing my blood sugar. It started tanking.
Actually, it's about that time. I'm gonna get something to eat and leave. I'll see you guys later.
Take care, Seth. Good having you.
Blast. Thanks.
I kind of
And
like
then
how
there were five.
Canadian. Yeah, I kind of like how there's Americans, Italians, Canadians all coming together to hate the French.
Oh, yeah.
That's something.
Well, around here, we usually refer to them as les maudits français. So that translates to the damned French. And you can't, there's a hyphen. That's damned hyphen French. You can't separate the two words.
Well, didn't the French kind of bring that upon themselves? Just being the way they are?
Pretty much.
Oh, good grief. Wow, we're missing it in the comments thread. I think I need to keep this going a little bit longer because we have Origin now arguing that you seem to need an external reality in order to be able to think.
What?
Does that mean Origin doesn't have an external reality?
Some people need to learn to put their thoughts together before speaking, is all I know. Typing as well.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Putting your thoughts together requires effort, so I don't know.
Of course, Benaberry's still just hammering it away down there.
Yeah, why bother? Yeah.
Benaberry is my favorite comments whore on my videos.
So is Benaberry trolling, just leading him on?
Benaberry just kind of explodes into the comment threads whenever they're around. Just everywhere. And I loved having the Hangouts this way because for the longest time, whenever it was a regular Hangout or a regular video or whatever, Benaberry would leave 8,000 fucking comments and I'd have to go through one at a time to approve all of them because they'd all be marked as spam. There was one occasion it literally took me, I think, an hour and a half to approve all of Barry's messages. It was insane.
Well,
yeah, they're into the problem of hard solipsism now, so I'm not going there.
I'm not going there either, especially at this hour. Good grief.
When you have to be a hard solipsist, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The weird thing with G-Man just momentarily came to mind. It's a shame he didn't convert to atheism just so I could have played a game of Pokemon with him. See if he would have freaked out playing Polyworld, which he's convinced that little spiral is somehow 666.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot he was anti-Pokemon.
Oh yes, Pokemon is evil. Yes.
What about Harry Potter?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you haven't heard? Pokemon is evil.
Oh, Pokemon and Harry Potter, it's all the devil. Yeah.
Oh bloody hell! Epi, you've got a lot to catch up.
Oh man. And Harry Potter and all his little friends went straight to hell for practicing witchcraft.
Yep.
Yay!
Hermione is clearly an atheist, so I mean...
She grew up fairly well, actually. Anyway, never mind.
No, that's the actress.
Slap the hand, okay.
Well, Pokemon introduces Japanese religion into the households of the faithful.
No, actually, the claim
turns
is...
them away from Christ, and they worship those demons from Japan.
Yeah, it's Japanese demons, and they get more demonic the more they evolve. Have you seen any of these Pokemon? Come on, man. They get cuter. Hi!
But who's
I'm
not
jiggling,
afraid of
what the
Squirtle?
fuck?
Squirtle is scary. Psychoduck, come on. What's his name? Psyduck?
Psyduck. No, that's Psyken Brutengate.
You can tell I never actually played Pokemon. It just always annoyed me that they use the word. Bless you.
Oh, sorry.
It's just always annoyed me they use the word evolve when they metamorphose.
Yeah, that's
the metamorphosis. You know.
I thought that's what the objection was, but nope.
A lot. Not only Christians, but also the PETA-style vegans have a problem with Pokemon because it encourages animal cruelty.
Well, I can kind of see that. That I can see, but the whole Antichrist Pokemon thing...
It's basically like cockfights, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually, yes, growing up, I actually witnessed cockfights. They're actually very entertaining, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they were. We would always eat the winner, because who wants to eat a loser?
Oh... Dude.
Yeah, but presumably the loser has been tenderized.
Yeah, but fair enough.
I think that's a valid point. I think we have to certainly acknowledge that one. But yeah, in terms of the animals fighting, I can kind of see that as being a somewhat reasonable criticism. You know, other than the fact that they're kind of made of paint.
Yeah. So people can fight each other in video games and kill each other, but animals can't.
Right.
Well, think about it. When you have a video game, you sit there, you have all your scenes, you have the zombies going around and eating every fucking one, while people are beheading zombies left and right. The soldiers get involved, and they start shooting at the survivors, so you kill all the soldiers off, and then you turn around and you kick a dog, and everyone complains about the dog.
Exactly.
Well, with war video games, it's okay because God is on our side, and all the enemies are infidels and evil. So I mean, I see the point. What I'm astonished is that I've yet to see a video from a fundamentalist complaining about Goat Simulator. I mean, that would be an easy target.
No, goats are evil. They have the horns. The goat head, the devil thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, that'd be such an easy target. But those guys really fell behind. They fell behind so easily. It's disappointing, really.
But you just can't go on the news and be taken seriously if you complain about Goat Simulator.
Oh yeah, because you can't with creation. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, but if you're complaining about a game that's called Grand Theft Auto, I mean, you don't even know if you know nothing about the game. It's called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's encouraging crime.
Well,
but if you have Goat Simulator.
Well,
that tells nothing to
hang on now.
That's what I mean.
Hang on now, y'all. We're not worried about this kind of Goat Simulator stuff, and we're not worried about this stupid Grand Theft Auto stuff because that stuff happens. But I mean, what we have to really worry about is this show Cosmos with them spreading their atheistic, evolution, Darwinistic ideas without the opposition of good, wholesome Christian creationist values. And of course, we need our show to be twice as long. Right in front of it, and with better scientists, because that Cosmos, they don't interview no scientists or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are actual criticisms.
But I thought Answers in Genesis were still working on their creation movie, anyways. They put out trailers of the 3D renderings or whatever a while ago. I mean, there were
renderings of nothing. The void.
Yeah.
my only complaint was with Cosmos was their historical capturing of Giordano Bruno. That was practically it. It had nothing really to do with the scientific content. That stuff's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually appreciated that, yay.
I don't know where they have so much trouble rendering, the void state. I mean, it just takes a CAT scan of Can-Am head. And, I mean, really.
I think that gets bonus points.
That does.
Mm-hmm.
You win a couple internets for that one.
Yeah, thirded.
Man.
And all this while watching races, so I'm not even 100% on the topic. So.
Oh, are they going left or right now?
They're going to. I mean, it's a proper track. It's in the Netherlands.
Oh, so they actually have to turn.
And they're racing motorcycles, so it's a proper manly sport,
Motocross.
No, not that shit when you get all dirty. The one on the road when you get all broken down if you fell down. So.
I see.
Oh, this sucks. I need somebody new to come into the hangout. I haven't had anyone to kick for a whole half hour.
Oh, bummer.
Aww.
I could start talking about how it's immoral to stop.
Okay, I'm getting the button ready.
Okay. Fabio, Fabio, I'm not sure if you were here for that. Did you catch that?
What?
No, he probably just plain jumped in.
Oh, there was a guy who was here earlier who was trying to defend a form of morality on atheism.
Oh, no. Seth told me about it, but I came in way later.
Yeah, it's morally wrong to rape, but it's morally wrong to stop it, was what they were arguing, and I was about ready to, like, fling the computer across the room.
Yeah.
Well,
wait,
no. I didn't know the guy was in, and honestly, I had a couple of things more important to do, like scratching my balls. So.
Oh, that actually probably is more worthy an endeavor.
Yeah. You know, I've decided to be really a snob and to set my priorities straight, depending on the people in Hangouts. So I've got this list of things which are ahead of several people and several arguments, and definitely scratching my balls is above that topic. So.
Well, provided they're itchy.
Yeah, you can have a preemptive scratch.
Yeah, just to make sure that they'll be securely at the right place for maximal comfort. Yeah.
Right on. Position is everything, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I hope you don't, but.
Come on, you
not
might
literally.
not
I mean,
I gotta check. No, you're not there.
I mean, my balls empathize with your.
Hang on. Good night, Barry. Have a good one. Don't worry, you don't count as spamming. Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
We are brothers in balls.
and now Kevin's really wondering what he walked into.
Oh, and we want to explain it.
I realize I'm kind of late to the party here, but
no, we're still on.
Well, was there another party that we missed that you were at?
Well, wasn't one you would be able to attend, but
yeah, but how did the party go? You said you were going off to like be debauchery or something.
No, just somewhere other than the internet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean the real world?
There's a place other than the internet? Where is it?
Really?
It's called reality.
Oh, that's no. There's no such thing, man. Nah.
Yeah. Yes, I had a wonderful evening with fellow drunk college students my age. No fun.
Yeah. That sounds all good.
Silly people.
I was young once, I think.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. I might have been. Pixar, get the fuck out, right? I'll start looking.
So, what year in university are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I graduated high school in 2009, so I should be a senior, but I'm taking some time off.
And I'll say to Origin, no, it is not morally wrong to do anything against the will of any autonomous agent. Preventing something wrong is not wrong. So, for example, preventing rape is not wrong, even if you do it against the will of the rapist. It's not wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you know, if somebody was sitting there and trying to rape somebody and you didn't stop them, I'd consider that to be morally wrong. But beyond that, it might also be morally wrong if you didn't go up, grab the rapist from behind the scruff of the neck, apply a knife to the front of their throat, and start slowly peeling the skin off of their face prior to disemboweling them. That might also be morally right based on circumstance. Might.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, to be fair, the man with the unnecessarily wide forehead held an hangout not too much time ago and talked about Tracy Harris, and according to her worldview, she shouldn't stop rape in action. So,
are we talking about Hatchet Face?
What?
Hatchet Face, yes.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Well, Red has a problem remembering people's names because she usually just sees them on camera. So there's a certain person named Matt Bell that she decided to refer to as Hatchet Face.
Yeah.
Okay, that fits.
At one point, I actually asked him what was up with the thing in his head, basically, and he said, "Oh, somebody hit me in the head with an axe." I said, "Really?" He goes, "No, I'm just messing with you. It's always been like this." But since he made that joke, he's been Hatchet Face.
No, I decided to go with that definition I told you before, because my kid actually said about some other guy, and I thought that hilarious, so I'm sticking with it.
Well, prior to the whole Hatchet Face thing, because I've decided that that's even better. What I used to joke is that whenever he went out on the streets and killed hookers, he would attach their labia to his forehead.
Okay.
You're not drunk enough, Kevin.
But I'm still enjoying Hatchet Face more, so.
Yeah, Hatchet Face is kind of polite.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, Content, for example. Yeah, I've heard
Content, yeah.
Yeah, hatchet philosophy, anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, the only problem with the man with the unnecessarily wide forehead is that it's quite long to say, but I think it gets the message, So.
Long face. Matthew Bell gives long face.
I don't know. He kind of reminds me of the basic aliens out of the XCOM game, but
yeah, you're right. You're right. The mind shit guy.
Yeah. That'd be the
Let
one.
me talk to you about the Kalam cosmological argument.
Yes.
Now, what you don't do and what you do is.
There's no God, because if you say there's no God, you're going to go around raping everybody.
Well, you're not a philosopher, so I don't respect you.
Yes. Are you a mathematician? Do you have a PhD in physics? No.
Wait. Although he is in Matt's defense, he's actually consistent on that. Once I heard he was giving up on free will and going to a compatibilism or a determinism, I said, you know what? You could actually still run the Plantinga's free will defense with compatibilism, and here's a blog with a philosopher who actually does that. And he asked me, well, does Plantinga know about this? I was like, no. Well, Plantinga should know about this, because if he didn't know about this, then we don't know if this argument's any good or not, so I don't want to use the argument. And so he's fairly consistent now.
You were encouraging Bell? Sorry.
I know.
Go ahead.
That's a non-argument.
Go ahead, 15.
No, I was just saying you encouraged Bell?
Yeah.
That's all. That was the extent of it. I was just a soundbite.
No, yeah, but he's right. I mean, it all presupposes the fact that you can't use your own fucking brain. Well, you have to have a brain before, but, and then you don't use it. So, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect point. Especially if you keep referring to other people's arguments, you got to be sure that the other people have exhausted the whole argument. I mean, God forbid if you have your own fucking idea and it might turn out to be wrong. But, oh, no.
I'm wondering who he stole the second brain from. I think he's got two of them crammed in his head, and neither one seems to be working quite right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Must explain the rapid aging.
Yeah, can you fucking believe he's 46?
No, I don't believe it for a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you mean that ancient, decrepit-looking Alzheimer critter is only a couple of years older than I am?
Which I must say, that's the only good thing about him, because I'm 48, and it makes me look and feel like I'm 25. So, thank God he exists.
Holy shit.
Well, go with 35. 35 is realistic.
Yeah. No, but, compared to the guy...
Did he, binge on methamphetamine for, a few years or something?
That's possible.
It might explain a thing or two.
Yeah. If he's been sipping heroin or something, yeah.
Yeah, but heroin will do that to you. You're like, holy fuck, have you seen that guy?
Yeah,
wow.
You need meth, right? But he still has his teeth, no?
I just want to pause to point something out. Origin, Barry's gone. Your playmate's not there. You can talk as much as you want. You're not going to get an answer now.
Oh, Barry?
Yeah, Barry called it. I outlasted Barry, which is scary when you think about it.
I'm still gonna bust his chops until he get his fat ass in a hangout. I haven't seen him in a hangout in months.
Yeah, I've only got him in one once, I think.
I've seen him in hangouts like 2 or 3 times. But,
yeah, but in terms of mine, I think I only got him in one of mine.
Yeah,
And part of that's his schedule. Yeah, he's just got a weird schedule.
Speaking of comment sluts, I haven't seen Hell in a Handbasket in hangouts for a while either.
No, she's been kind of busy apparently. I mean, we almost got her in one briefly yesterday, but you know she couldn't get in initially, and then poof, tumbleweeds. I don't know.
Tumbleweeds.
Yeah, we miss Helena. She used to comment way too much, and we enjoyed it. Then again, when you're named Helena Handbasket, you can't go wrong. I'm telling you, just a great ID. Did I just lose connection, or am I? No, it just faded out. Okay.
Yep, you totally lost connection.
That happens all the time. Great. Oh no, with the fucking sound problems I had earlier. God, that was stupid. I actually have a program loaded called Virtual Audio Cable, and I have 3 instances of that loaded. And in addition to that, I have 2 different headsets and 2 different webcams that each of which have mics. I had no idea what mic was working. And I'm sitting there going through the different, you know, the different mics on the headsets and the webcams and all this. Come to find out, I was actually on one of the virtual audio cables. I wasn't even on a real existing piece of hardware.
So you need an external reality to properly function. See?
Yeah. If I actually knew what audio cable it was, I could have routed my audio from whatever the hell mic I wanted to it. I just didn't know what the fuck the audio stream I was on. So yeah, that was entertaining, we'll just say.
Yeah, but the main question is, was the virtual audio cable trying to rape your real audio cable, and did you stop it? Because I mean,
Did you have fun talking to yourself, Squirrel Boy?
Good grief. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you guys brought it upon yourself. I mean, instead of ejecting him in the vacuum of space, you let the guy talk, and now I can, even if I wasn't there for the conversation, I can get this idea out of my mind. So.
What did I miss?
This origin person is what we're referencing. From earlier.
Some drunk retard laid down the maxim of, if you prohibit anyone's actions, it's morally abhorrent.
Yeah.
So what if you're trying to kill me?
Well, it'd be wrong to kill.
It's wrong that I'm trying to do that, but
it's wrong to stop
anyone to stop me from doing it.
Exactly.
Who the fuck was this? Was this some scrub from the internet, or someone we know?
Basically, someone trying to philosophize.
Oh,
and somebody that had no clue.
Get that clue. Gotta get that clue by 4 out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some rooms full of people that it might have been an interesting conversation with, but not one of my
G-Man's hangouts?
Not one of my hangouts, that's for damn sure.
Or
actually, I think G-Man might have. Well, G-Man might have enjoyed it, because he certainly likes it when Mark Anthony goes in there.
Or well, he can go to one of Prudence hangouts and argue with Puppy Turtle.
Oh, Puppy Turtle! Wow.
I've had a good discussion with him. Well, we tend to have good discussions. We had a podcast just yesterday about conspiracy theories, which was pretty fun. Apparently, we talked about everything from geocentrism to AIDS denialism to UFO stuff and 9/11 truthers. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, there's one of my favorite sites is this site called the Museum of Hoaxes. I recommend looking it up sometimes. Actually, they have some
you can
really
put the
cool
link
stuff
in
there.
the side chat.
No, I can't.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm laying down on the couch, chilling. I'm not getting up. You know, I have to lay down on the couch now. Fabio logged in.
What?
Bad joke. Never mind. That's lulling me to sleep. Thing. Oh.
Lol.
No, I just fixed my blood sugar a little while ago, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's the shaking's gone. But what the fuck was I going to say? I forget.
Museum of Hoaxes.
Oh yeah, Museum of Hoaxes. It's actually a really great site. There's some really funny stuff on there. And one of the things that I think is the best is that they have their street address. They don't have a street address. There's no fucking museum, you idiots. But
it's a hoax.
It's a hoax.
Yeah,
it's a ruse.
But you go through the site and they have all these different things, like varied fake photos over the years and this and that, and you can look at some of the historical hoaxes, and they always have like new weird devices like the LifeWave patch or whatever the fuck the newest shit is that they'll be going on about and debunking and all this stuff. It's some fun stuff that's outside of the whole theist-atheist discussion, so it's a place I periodically recommend people go and poke around in the news groups and what have you. But before you do, you know, you have to make sure that you sit there and go through some of those historical hoaxes so you can read all up about the foreskin of Jesus that was at 22 churches at the same time at one point. So apparently Jesus had this massive foreskin.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing was the claims with regards to apostolic burial grounds and whatnot was getting so over exaggerated. Even people within the faith were calling bullshit. Martin Luther himself actually said this.
Protestants thought the relics were bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Actually, he called it out. He basically said, in France we have 16. The 12 apostles are all buried. In fact, there are 16 graves for each of them.
Yeah.
For those of you too lazy to type that into Google, there's the link.
Gracias. Grazie.
But
the Jesus foreskin one or the Martin Luther thing?
No, it's Museum of Hoaxes.
Museum of Hoaxes in general. Yeah, just go through there. There's a lot of fun stuff there. There's a lot of fun stuff there, but the foreskin of Jesus is hilarious, and that this weird rumor, these weird claims about people having the foreskin of Jesus continued into like the 1800s or something like this, at which point the Vatican put their foot down and said, this never happened, none of this ever happened, we will never discuss this again.
Didn't they basically just say that it was taken up to heaven along with Jesus' body or something like that?
It's something like that, but they also basically declared that anyone that claimed to have the foreskin of Jesus would be excommunicated.
Well, I didn't like that.
Oh, they got pissed. They were like, fuck this. No, we've been made to look like assholes for too fucking long. This ends here and now.
You know the legend, the first time they saw Saturn with the telescope, they thought that the ring was the foreskin of Jesus.
I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Either that or his dick. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there.
Becky.
So Symmetry, how you doing?
Person who always has his mic muted and never talks.
I can unmute.
No, I'm talking.
The soothing voice of asymmetry.
Asymmetrical symmetry.
Right.
Backwards.
Yeah.
The soothing voice is, yep, that's so stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. Why are there 11 people still watching me sitting here slowly losing my mind because I'm up too long? Oh well.
They're busy losing their
Might
mind.
as well give him a good show.
Wait a minute. Give him a good show. This is my show.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, come on, man. That ain't gonna happen.
You should spend your entire show talking about your show.
Well, no, I'm not prudent. I can't be prudent. I wouldn't want to be prudent. But he seems to have it in his head lately that somehow have a bad. Well, never mind.
Oh, that we don't like him?
Yeah, that's stupid. I wouldn't let him in the Hangouts if I didn't actually like him.
Yeah, but I do get it because I've never actually talked to him. But I can see from having watched many Hangouts, I'm like the 10 people watching. Basically, I'm one of the 10 turned into one of the annoying people who talks. But yeah, it's the fact that he's so eager to participate that you can. It's easy to use this eagerness and make and have fun. You know.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of friends that I could do that with. But yeah, at a certain point, you have to know when to stop.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Like invite the entire Precept Collective on your show with Nadia and Puppy Turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps some things you need to experience for yourself why you shouldn't do them.
Well,
that would be funny as hell if he actually pulled it off. But...
Oh, there was one time when Wingnut was running a show with the Fundy Fun Bunch. And Prudent went on there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, great, Prudent is the one atheist in the room. And they're sitting there talking to him, and he's trying to be all nice and agreeable as not to be kicked out. And I'm sitting there watching going, you idiot. They're looking at you like a piece of meat thinking, we might convert this one on the air.
Yeah.
So get out. They're going to take you being agreeable as meaning that you're converting. You're being a cross tease. I don't know.
Well, I've never been a believer, but is that what they'd actually think? Like, if a Christian is friendly and polite, I don't take that as meaning he's becoming an atheist.
Yes, well, it is exactly that, and the next thing you know, they'll start selling you coffee and cookies and giving you rides at church and charging you for the ride, and
next thing you know, they'll be putting on that funny little collar and lifting their skirt for you.
But if I ride the wave just right, I might get free coffee and cookies, but never have to pay for a ride.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the New Covenant group is nice and friendly. It doesn't mean they're going to go convert them.
No. I'm talking specifically about that lot. I mean, you have to keep in mind the very first technically the second conversation, the first hangout I was in, the first publicized thing I was in with Matt 419. It was him with a room full of atheists, and at the very end of it, he's sitting there trying to preach to the atheists for like 10 fucking minutes, and after like 3, we're like, yeah, dude, we're done.
I watched that. It was the problem was inviting people under false pretenses. I think that had he advertised that he'd be preaching in advance, you wouldn't have gotten mad about it because it was advertised.
Yeah,
but it was the inviting people under the false pretense.
Well, I don't think that's the thinking though. The thinking is if I don't mention this, it doesn't mean I'm being dishonest. This means I'm not going to mention that. And
it's a lie by omission. Yeah,
right.
I get
so.
Yeah.
When Prudent asked Wingnut to go on his show, Wingnut was like, "Give me $75 and I'll do it."
Yeah, this is Prudent.
Mm-hmm.
Prudent, will you be on my show? Give me money. Well, fuck you. Actually, Prudent was like, I don't know if I just like, dude, just call him a douchebag.
That means no.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you $75. Okay, fine. It's now 150. This is the way these fucking things go.
Yeah.
But look, I was on Prudent's show like this last week, and it was just me and him for over an hour.
Yeah.
He really needs to work on something.
Yeah.
I like the show.
Well, you should go help him out more then.
Some of them haven't been bad. It's just like maybe it's not the best idea when you're like a noob to the community and you're not used to doing this and you're not used to talking to people to start a podcast. Just saying.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't start one. Fuck that.
I wouldn't either. And I probably could, and I could probably get viewers, but no.
I mean, granted, I can run an Insomnia Shuffle almost every fucking night and get a pretty good size showing, but that's not a podcast. That's just a bunch of people coming around to bullshit.
Nah.
It's like every off-air hangout, except it's on air. But podcasts, I mean, you need to have guests. You need to put thought into it. I don't do that.
What's the difference between a podcast and just making a live hangout? I thought they were like the same thing.
No, they're really not, in that a podcast is supposed to have an objective. It's supposed to have a theme. It's supposed to have subject matter, a topic.
And people babbling. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going wherever the fuck we go, you know. But yeah, it's the difference between a structured hangout and this chaos.
Yeah, or maybe I'm too old school, but for me, a podcast would need to be downloadable and playable on your iPod.
Yeah, I can kind of get that to a degree, but YouTube doesn't really accommodate for that.
Fundamentally Thought actually had that shit down. They had all their shit downloadable for MP3.
So that to me is a classical podcast.
Yeah, that's doing it right. But you know, most people don't. I mean, look at Magic Sandwich, for example. They count as a podcast, but
they do. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, a podcast is just another. It's the next incarnation of a radio talk show, where somebody babbles at you about some topic. You might have some callers come in and talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is, when you're dealing with this kind of thing, I mean, you have your large radio shows, your syndicated ones, and then your little small town shit. You know, your college radio call-in shows too. We actually have one of those near where I live.
Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure, but I've got to go fix something to eat for the whole family and the dogs. So.
Okay, well, I will catch you later, Fabio. Thanks for joining, as brief as it was. Sorry we bored you. Haha.
Arrivederci.
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 Ciao.
I could see he was getting some heat from the significant other there. What the fuck are you doing on the computer?
Again.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
No more hangouts or no sexy times tonight. Yeah. I've heard that a few people on here have gotten that thread.
Oh my gosh, that guy's still commenting in the thread. Good grief! Shut up. It's done. I was hoping I was going to get a chance to say hi to Alex before signing off, but probably not. Seeing as I should try to sleep at some point.
Yeah, sleep is overrated, and for the weak.
For the weak.
We've maintained an average of about 12 viewers the whole time. Oh, well, Kevin, incidentally, you kind of missed it earlier. We actually got in a conversation with a theist during the pre-show.
I watched some of that. I caught some of that.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Which theist?
Jimmy. He's a pretty good guy. He's not really an apologist. He's just, you know, Christian. He's a fairly decent guy. Of course, unfortunately, one of my subscribers that's a little firebrand anti-theist was in the room, and yeah.
Who?
Greg. The one that deep throats the mic when talking too often, and I have to always turn down his volume.
Problem was Greg and Jimmy were talking past each other. Like they weren't addressing each other's positions. We're addressing what they thought each other's positions were.
Greg hasn't struck me as a firebrand anti-theist, but I know a few of those. But...
He was going a little over the top. He was being very forceful and assertive, and we're just trying to have a chill, casual conversation. So. Yeah.
But otherwise, invite Jimmy again because he was articulate and polite, and it seems like a good guest to have. Good person to talk to.
Yeah, but I think I know who I want to have for my next guest, though. Oh, what was his name? Something one. But I gotta get his name up.
The Ego Waffle.
Ego Waffle, whatever the fuck it was.
The Divine Waffle.
Something like that. Let me find it. Because he's amusing. To say the least. Where is the weirdo?
Yeah, but I don't know. He seems to have made videos in one day and not registered a site, and I don't know. Will he give up after a couple? Will he give up once his videos don't get any views? You know, I don't know.
Let's see now. Matthew B. Ming.
What?
That was the name. It's Matthew B. Ming. I'm going to copy the link in there because you got to take a look at this shit. This shit's fucking funny as hell.
It better be.
Oh, it's funny, and it technically gets funnier. Oh, wait a minute. It's up there. There it is. Sorry, I have to look up at the sky to find out where I can paste it. There we go. Okay. Enter. There we go. But yeah, this guy's amusing to say the least, because your ego existed before you were born, and the ego is God, and you are the ego, and
What?
So which one should I watch?
What the hell? DivineEgo.net, 1 subscriber.
But wait a minute, hang on. www.divineego.net. He hasn't actually registered yet.
Oh.
Yes,
I should go. I should go register it.
But that would be morally wrong. I'm waiting for somebody to fucking do it. You might want to check to see if it's still unregistered. I've cracked jokes about it constantly.
Okay, it's registered. It goes to a blank page. Let me check the who is.
Oh, somebody registered it now. It wasn't a few hours ago.
It loads. Like, wait, let's see. View source.
Here.
No, there's source code there. There's a page there. It's just blank.
Okay, we were doing a who is earlier, and it was coming up with nothing, and we were talking about how wrong it would be if somebody were to register it, so we'll see.
But I mean, I haven't clicked on a video yet, but just looking at the thumbnails, it just looks like word salad.
It's this guy's interesting. They're all like a minute long. This guy's interesting, and I'll just leave it at that.
All right, let's go with the Power of Darkness.
Oh, it was registered 4/26/209, 2014. Yeah, it was just registered.
What do you know? I wonder who did it.
It was just registered. Wow.
Well, I don't know if he watched. Maybe he tuned in. I did actually add him to my little list, but for all I know, he might have tuned in and heard us sitting there saying, "I hope someone doesn't register it before he does." The whole time that I was online.
Dude, he didn't even spell check his videos.
Wait. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Admin name.
Hang on.
Admin name Matthias Bemming. Vastenbergen 3B country SE. I don't know what that is.
Now, take him seriously. Come on, just because he threw some weird words up on a video.
Yeah, I'll pull this out. Yeah, there we go.
Was something just there we go. Let me take a look at this. Scroll down.
Home is where the dog hair sticks to everything but the dog.
Admin Street. Stop it. I hate when this thing bounces like that. Matthias Bernig, Vasberg, Egan 3B province. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Oh, there's a Gmail address. Ooh.
Yes, there is. Yeah, you need one to register a domain.
He can't even spell address correctly.
Hang on, I gotta see this.
Antagonized.
Oh, fuck that! I'm not logging in. Close out of this shit. Fuck that. Well, I'm not looking it up.
That's at least the address and postal code probably doesn't. It probably goes to the registrar and not him, because if you do that on my domain, it'll go to the registrar, and you won't get my address going. Who is on my website? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, but when we did who is at the beginning of all the Insomnia Shuffle and all that, it was not registered yet. So it is now.
Well, it was registered on the 26th, so
26th.
That was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So that happened.
Well, I was told that on Who Is It only takes an hour for it to update, so we will see.
Yeah, it was literally like just registered, so yeah, someone probably.
Oops. Oh well, what a shame. I feel so bad.
Hopefully it was him.
It might have been him. I don't know. Hopefully it was.
Matthew B. May. Okay, so how did you find out about this guy?
Well, he responded to my, Size God Doesn't Exist video. I didn't realize that was one of the ones that I did the whole go you know, search, seek, and when you find, come back and talk to me. I didn't realize that I'd said that on that one, and he's all of a sudden like, oh, well, yes, here, watch my videos and come talk with me and blah, 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 or whatever the fuck it was, and I'm like, dude, that is like, what the fuck does that have to do with the video? And he's like, but you asked. I'm like, oh, yeah, forgot. I didn't realize one of the videos I said that on, so yeah, it's, whatever.
His videos look to be all text only and are under 1 minute and 30 seconds long.
They have audio with the text.
They're baseless assertions and non sequiturs and.
Watch the first one. Just watch the first one when he claims that he will make you prove God to yourself. It's fucking hilarious.
It's also kind of funny because it's clear that English is not his native language and his mastery of English is not good.
Well, that's okay. He's not narrating it. He's using text to speech very
yeah.
But I mean, you'll see in some of the sentence the way they're built.
Yeah, I'll show you.
It's not. Sometimes it's.
Hang on.
Difficult.
I want to get his responses of this just because it's funny.
I watched 2 so far, and they're pretty
fucked up.
Well, yeah, I watched the.
Symmetry, nice going. Found his Facebook.
I think that's him.
I watched The Godless Society, I think, and something of Darkness. Where was it? Yeah, The Power of Darkness.
Today I learned God exists because worldview, ego reasons.
I think it's hilarious. So, I mean, the guy starts. He had the videos he put up. They're all within like a 24-hour period, and he's advertising this page which he hadn't even registered yet. It's like, dude.
Digital shamans.
But yeah, the Godless Society is some rant about how children are indoctrinated into secularism, and they become impure because of these godless things that are imposed on them, and they're corrupt by the time they reach teen age, and.
Sure. All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna go before this hangover gets any worse.
Okay, well, actually, I think I'm probably gonna call this hangout itself in a few. Granted, we still have 10 people watching, and thank you for all you crazy people that joined along here. But I think I'm going to pass out because, yeah, I've already played all my squirrely jokes. And in the meantime, I'm going to start tearing down my interface here.
Oh, exploit, I see.
Yep, I'm doing the XBit broadcast and all that fun stuff. Oh, great, now we have 11 people. And they're about to be watching a black screen. Haha, tough shit. Well, good night, everyone.
Probably will.
Well, good night,
the
everyone.
Black Screen on the 13 Heathens channel. Gotta watch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's usually the best thing on, frankly. Come on, let's call the truth as it is. In any case, once again, Insomnia Shuffle, this video will, as usual, be switched to unlisted, but it will still be available through Google Plus because I can't do a fucking thing about that. So, everybody have a great night. This is 13 Heathens signing off. Until next time.